Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. And welcome back to another Oracle Forecast. So, to begin our reading time, let's take a moment to center ourselves, because we're about to get to the end of Eclipse season. So this is a great time to gather some insights as to what we need to know during this period, to take advantage of the alignments that have emerged in this season, because it has been a very intense one between the fire horse, the basket formation. I keep forgetting the name of it every time before I do the stream, so apologies for that. Y'all know what it is. And a solar eclipse in Leo, and the lunar eclipse. I believe it should be in Taurus. Let me double check. I really do need to get in the habit of looking at signs more before I begin, but I really want to start up, so okay. Okay, so in Western astrology, it's in Pisces, and in Vedic, it's in Aquarius. So partially correct. But anyway, we're going to go through some pretty powerful transitions during this period, so see this polls as a chance for you to really center yourselves and prepare for the new energies that are coming ahead. That was weird. Hopefully that didn't jump you out too much. Also, a little bit of a notification. Even though I'm only, the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be in training. When I actually do start up my work, it'll be Tuesdays through Thursdays. But for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Because I have to wake up pretty early and I'm not exactly a natural early riser. So don't be surprised if, unfortunately, I may have to cut off the streams a little earlier than usual. But I am figuring out a supplemental, maybe like a supplemental stream I could do for you guys, or some other method that can keep things going. So hopefully things won't be too disruptive. The other thing that I need to tell you guys as well is, excuse me, I'm going to be going to an event next week, so I did have to change my time slightly for next weekend's music listening party. It's still happening, but I had to delay it closer to the evening hours, which I will share with you the updated time, and I will update it accordingly on Discord in just a moment. But for right now, let us go ahead and get ourselves some insights for this week without further ado. All right. So let's get started. Okay, so hope everybody has had a good weekend. I certainly had. I feel like, especially with the readings that we've had between last night and no doubt today, we'll probably continue the profound themes. I think there has been a need for a lot of emotional support at this time, because I feel like for sure, for a lot of us that are really sensitive to shifts, I feel like everybody's really been experiencing a profound shift in frequency, and it might be causing a bit of a dispute in terms of, like how do we navigate these changes? How do we navigate the change in dynamics of our relationships. These two feel kind of dead. Let me shuffle them further. And I'm feeling especially, um, funnily enough, today's theme has been about resilience in terms of the service I went to today. I went to my local UU fellowship, and resilience was a big theme for today's service. And then, let's see, anything else wants to come up today? Because a couple things did come up. And I think the other thing that's been really coming up as well has been um, vulnerability and also permission and honesty. And especially if there have been long running problems or long running frustrations that have been occurring. Oh, I need one more day. Whoops. Long running frustrations that have been popping up. Rest assured, it is not going to be forever. To quote St. Julian of Norwich, which was a big thing during today's service, all will be well. Even if things seem chaotic, like we have our ups and downs every day. Like, for example, there was time earlier this stream where at one point got one of the most popular streams I had in a long time. Not long after that, because of the storm, power went out for 48 hours. Power went out for 48 hours, so I couldn't really do anything during those 48 hours. So that was that was interesting. And even the minister that happened to be the guest minister for today even talked about how she did this protest against Avilo Airlines because apparently they were commissioned to do deportation flights. And so any city that had Avilo in it, they coordinated efforts to ask Avilo to stop doing deportation flights. And she thought it was going to be at least a year or two that this fight was going to happen. Turned out it only went for 3 months. Around January was when they decided to end the contract. So they won. But then not long after that, unfortunately, Renee Good. That occurred around the same period. So it was a mixture of victory, but also simultaneous grief at the state of affairs. But the biggest thing we can't forget is our gifts, our power. Even if it feels like especially now when it feels like sometimes we don't have much of it, there's a lot that we actually can do. A lot of Avilo, like to get an example from the top thing I talked about earlier, a lot of Avilo service areas, they were in small cities. Like in my state, for example, we have an airport about 10-minute drive from the spot. They kind of serve small towns. So a bunch of small towns came together and did an organized protest. And it happened, what she thought was going to be a year, happened in 3 months. So do not discount your voice. And so as well, she also had these strings that she had us tie up as a bit of a reminder of those promises we make to ourselves and to the people around us. And so right now, I mean, this is I feel like this might be the case for a while, even though I know it's not going to be forever. And I'm praying for the day when things are finally comfortable enough that I can finally walk the walk in a lot of ways. But I know until then, I do what I can. I promised myself that I would use my powers as intuitive as a card reader, as a creative, and in some ways an entertainer, to help people feel safe and to be able to be better people than they were yesterday, and to remember the good in them And when you need a space to be vulnerable, you've got it here at my table. And when you're exhausted with strength, we will refill you with nourishment, even if it's of the spiritual or energetic kind. I hope that this channel makes you feel stronger. That's my hope through this work. So that's my promise to you with this. That with the abilities and the powers and the community that I have, that even in some small way, that we reaffirm to ourselves that we have so much magic within us that needs to be experienced and shared. So let's get into this, shall we? Let's see what insights we got for this week. We got a couple of jumpers, but we're going to go over those last. So here we go. Monday. Got the Five of Cups. I could tell especially with how many swords we've been pulling this week. There's a lot of rocking our worlds, a lot of inner turmoil, and there is a temptation to give up. Believe me, there have been several moments this year between being 30, like the latter half of my 33rd year and now, that have been moments where I almost gave up on a lot of things. It can be so easy to sink into the depths of despair, that what's the difference, what's going to be different this time. Very easy to go down that road, this big bitterness and disillusion, broken heart, guilt. Listen, you're doing the best with what you have. If you haven't been able to do certain things because resource wise you just weren't able to, or even social pressure, because let's be for real, even though most of us are, I mean, I think the majority of my demographic, from what I saw on my YouTube and Twitch analytics, most of us are about, most of my audience is around like like on average around mid-20s, mid-30s. Few people who are like 40 plus. But the majority are around like young adults. So like early 20s, mid-30s. If you're outside of the demographic, thank you very much. I appreciate you. But it's very easy to blame ourselves for actions we weren't able to take in the moment, or realizing in hindsight what different steps we could take. I've done that several times where I just kind of realized, dang, I could have just done this simple thing. But in the heat of the moment, that was the most I could really think of doing. It worked still, but it's not the thing I would have ideally wanted. It's okay to let that grief go into the abyss where it belongs. Because ultimately, it's not beneficial to the new phase you're about to step into. Let yourself feel what you gotta feel. Do what you gotta do. But you also have to realize that there are a lot of things that are beyond you and it's not your fault. So honor those feelings, but ultimately let them flow like water. Complete the cycle. Complete the cycle and just let it go. That's the call for you for Monday. Especially if you're if you're starting up school, gambare. I'm starting up school, albeit this time from the teacher side of the road, so it's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. All right. So Tuesday. I really picked this one. So interesting that this week is the week that he decides to pop up. The devil. The devil. Usually about overindulgences, vices, having like old thought patterns having a big grip, but also the need to actually embrace our shadows, the need to see our stories from a different lens. And most importantly, being really brutally honest with yourself of what's going on. And I'll be for real. I mean, I kind of had a little bit after last night's polls. I actually rated another tarot reader in case anybody needed a reading still, but I just didn't have the energy to do it because music practice really tacked me out surprisingly. I really channeled something deep with that practice, but it was necessary. So I guess another tarot reader. Shout out to Timber Tarot Gamer. They, well, I don't know exactly what Timber's pronouns are, uh, but the reading that Timber gave me was pretty insightful. Also, really gorgeous decks too. I need to find a way to find where those decks are, but uh, but yeah, the thing you all probably have noticed with the way I've been reading lately is, well, especially with like romance readings, I've been having a bit of a complication towards those recently. It's partially been, well, the adverse challenges that I've been experiencing earlier this year when I finally started experimenting with a phone line service. And a lot of the questions were revolving around terms of presuming people's thoughts and mostly cheating, which, let's be for real, if you're coming to a reader for that, you probably already know the answer. And so I was talking with Ron C earlier about this, and it was like, it's easy to like a redirect, which I often try to do, is to redirect towards affirmation of one's own intuition rather than presuming somebody else's actions, because that's my best area. There's some readers who can do the externalizing thing. I'm not one of them. It may change down the line once I learn more, because even with 15, like almost 15 years doing this, I'm still I'm still learning. I'm still learning about how my abilities work. I'm still learning how cards are read, etc. Like, it's like learning tarot is like learning a language. Once you start, the process never ends. How I read when I was in my 20s is very different from what I read from how I read now. Even hell, even the way I read even a year or two, you've probably seen the progression. How I've read in the beginning of doing these tarot streams. Like next year, I'll make it a year since I've done these consistently. That's changed considerably. Like, I still look at the references, but you notice that I haven't been pulling as much. So similarly, in terms of confronting that, it's also been confronting love readings. Getting back to the original topic at hand, I will admit it's also been hitting even how I personally see love as well, because my tendency has been kind of to dodge it when in reality I do want this. I have to be really honest with myself. It's like I do want love in my life, but for a long time, by a long time I mean like probably the past 5 years, now 6, I've been starting to feel like as if it might not be happening for me. I didn't push so hard for it when I was in college because I was focused on getting that degree. Immigrant child here. Like, it's like doctor, lawyer, engineer. If you're outside of that, you just got to be the top at what you do. Otherwise, get out of my house kind of deal. Um, but yeah, there's a fear that I really needed to confront. That I think that fear is even starting to interfere with the way I've been doing my work even on here. And for those that I've had to turn away with certain parameters, or for those I was unable to answer that question, I apologize. And I am going to do my best to do better in certain things. And there are other things that I hope that you respect the boundaries that I have set in the future. So that's the thing I really want to bring up. And other times, getting back to the devil for Tuesday, there are other times where some people just might not be ready for it. It feels like an 8 or 9 of swords moment where it's like, I don't feel like looking that way. And simultaneously, part of the reason why I even are a little bit cautious about love readings, which I mean, it's not just love readings in general, but like love readings are like one of the most charged things for me. Part of it is also as well, I don't want to gaslight you out of your intuition. If you feel something's up, something's up. And I don't want my pulls to otherwise talk you out of something. So this is why I especially encourage you, especially outside of this stream. I mean, I have my skills. I'm good at what I do. But please don't be afraid to seek a second opinion if you need to. Okay? This is my PSA for you. Like, if there's something that like doesn't resonate, don't be afraid to ask for a second opinion. But regardless, the biggest thing is when you're confronting your shadow, don't get so caught up in the strings. Look at what's actually driving it. And embrace it all. To err is human. To forgive, to even gaze into it, that's divine. And to R is pirate. So somebody with that shirt today, it was hilarious. But anyway, want to get a little bit of humor, which is kind of perfect because Wednesday's card is about the Hierophant. The Hierophant. I love this deck's interpretation of the Hierophant because I like how lighthearted he is. And that's how spirituality ultimately needs to be. This is from this deck, Lightseer's Tarot. By the way, you often come across people who have been in the spiritual path for a long time or have facilitated some of the most intense stuff. They're actually, ironically, the most lighthearted people in existence. Like, there's some facilitators that just, they have the most wicked sense of humor. And so it doesn't mean difficult stuff doesn't bother you. It doesn't mean that you should stop being concerned with what's happening in the world or what struggles you're having in your own life. Far from it. It's part of it's also the skill to be able to turn things around and to see the beauty even in the most difficult of things. To clarify, I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing. That's not the direction I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here with the Hierophant is to be able to see each challenge and even each blessing as an opportunity, which I know in the thick of it can be very, very difficult. Hello, I'm still learning. But those opportunities, they are valuable. And thus, embracing the moments you have in front of you, be it this moment, whether you're watching it live or in a recording, or some other opportunity you come across, like a typical run to work, or when you're going on your laptop and seeing something profound and different. Those are opportunities to allow yourself to see the world differently, to try new things, to experiment, to do all these things. So, likewise, especially with spirituality, it can get so easy to take things a little too seriously. It's okay to sit down, maybe tell a few jokes with God, have a little laugh, play some music, and dance around, which reminds me, I got to pull out some Queen Herbie cards too for the end. I knew I was forgetting something. But yeah, see the humor in life too, as much as the systems. Because once you're able to see the magic and the creativity and the whimsy in the world, nothing can stop you. All right, so Thursday, Knight of Pentacles. We're planting some seeds here. We're getting close to the end of the week. So basically we're getting around. Okay, wait, hold on. So yeah, we're getting to eclipse season now. So we're getting to the lunar eclipse area with a Knight of Pentacles here on Thursday. And then if you're staying in the East Coast, the peak of the eclipse happens around midnight on excuse me, midnight on Friday for us in the East Coast. Feel free to calculate whatever it is on your end. That's the peak of it. And so while the sun is with the solar eclipse, it's getting obscured by like the things that are like really obvious, like seeing like what's beneath the very obvious. Lunar eclipses are about seeing what's underneath the emotion. And simultaneously, you're going through all of the phases of the moon at once. So the eclipses are a very unique opportunity. Now, it depends on what tradition you're from. Some people are like, don't do anything significant in a lunar eclipse. Just learn the lessons as it comes up. There are other people, I'm of the school as well, where they say, hey, the eclipse is like the one time where you can go through all the phases of the moon in one go. You get new moon energy and full moon energy at the same time. So it's a time to like release, be grateful for what no longer serves, and simultaneously you can manifest something new in this space. So ultimately, you just got to learn how eclipse energy works for you. Do whatever it is that makes you feel in sync at this time. But the universal thing, regardless, for what to examine during this full moon in Pisces/Aquarius, and also what you need to bring to this energy is your determination. Because this eclipse season has planted seeds. And so the focus during this period is expansion, and especially expansion through diligence and devotion. And it can be very easy to be stuck in resistance. I mean, especially for us Leos here, or those who have major Leo placements, Aquarius is at the opposite side. For Pisces, it would be, I know my astrology a little bit, like I'm not the strongest, so pardon me. Virgo, I think. So the Virgo or Cancer, one of those two. But anyway, but those who are opposite signs of those of Pisces and Aquarius, which is Leo and Virgo, y'all are probably going to feel this transit the most, in addition to the people who actually live in those two signs. So all the more reason that you need to pay attention to how you've been navigating this journey up until this point, and all of the work you've done until this point to be here. See, and especially since we're a little bit more than halfway towards this 2026, and also just halfway, we're literally just, as of right now, we're just halfway through the year of the fire horse. This is a good time to take stock of everything you've learned in the past 6 to 8 months. What you've planted, what you wanted to manifest back during the season, back when this year started. And see which things you might have had to take a few detours on, and which things have been coming to pass, and which things have been what themes have been coming up this year, what themes have been emerging, and see what is left to learn in the next 4 to 6 months. Or especially if you're like me and you like the mystery a little bit, how do you get a little comfy with uncertainty? Eclipse seasons really do upset like that sometimes. So Friday, which on midnight, at least here in the East Coast, is when the eclipse hits, and is where you really need to pay attention. The Ace of Cups. Pay attention to that emotional connection and what interconnects you with the living beings and the relationships coming together. And remembering that especially if you're rebelling against an old, unhelpful story, an old, unhelpful energy, rebellions are built on hope. To quote from Rogue One a little bit. There is a connection that we all have, visible and invisible. The fact that you're here listening to this message, that's one representation of a connection. Another connection, you stepping outside in the climate that you're in, that's a connection. And I know there's some connections that might not be desired, but there are other connections that are just as important. That's why it's important to also examine those shadow sides that we're going to do it earlier in the week. And so the biggest theme that I'm feeling with this week, especially with the bookends, with the Five of Cups and the Ace of Cups, both of them are cups actually. We're actually kind of winding down the cups a little bit. It's like we're emptying our cups in the middle. I'm feeling the sense of like if there were opportunities that you weren't able to do in the other major astrological transits, and that's presuming you're even into that, or just in any other periods, be it the lockdown, for my fellow college and grad students, during or after your studies, or in your travels, like anything you didn't really get a chance to really do or say, or various other things. If there were things that you couldn't really fully do, be it because you didn't have the knowledge, you didn't have the energy to find said knowledge, or just hindsight being 2020 and all that jazz, forgive yourself. There are plenty of opportunities to come. It's the remnants of that energy, even if it's not in real time, they're still here. So I say, as long as you experience that energy, as long as you've been around it, as long as you have the knowledge, as long as you're doing all you can in this very moment, it's never too late. There is always a way to resume where you left off, or even start again if you want and need to. So it's important to bring back that connection to your heart, to love, to openness. I know especially we do need to protect ourselves. We need to we talk about it as like boundary setting, which that's important. I like to look at it more as defining parameters. Because parameters describes not only what you don't allow, but also what you do. You need both. So it's okay to redefine parameters. All right, so we got a couple of jumpers here. So we've got the Tower. Okay, so we got a little bit of a bending going on here. So in addition to forgiveness, there's also an importance of re-examining your foundations. Unlike how most people tend to look at the Tower, I don't look at the Tower as very terrifying. I kind of look at it as a field manual of, and especially like with the way that I tend to pull the Tower. A lot of times, like, okay, you have a little bit of a heads up before disaster could hit, so this is the time for you to really pay attention to see where your foundations are shaky. The Tower is often, for me, it's like pay attention to things that could like pull the rug underneath you, and awareness of the perspectives, especially the perspectives that can be very limiting and destructive, not helpful towards your goals, self-sabotaging. This week as well, especially with eclipses where it's revealing obscured information, this is going to challenge and upend old ideas. That maybe it may feel safe for you because it's out of habit, but it's not beneficial for you in the long run. It's important to shed those, if anything. Doesn't mean you have to give up everything entirely, but it means that you have to pay attention to where you're playing it too safe. And even the opposite of like where you might be taking too many risky steps. Moderation is key here. I have a feeling there's one particular song that I have a feeling is going to come up here. I just have this feeling. We'll see if I'm right, but I just have this feeling. This one song was my big thing, was the big thing for me last year, and I think it definitely came to pass. Um, but I have a feeling she's coming up again. We'll see. But the other part that we got here for our jumpers is the Eight of Pentacles. And it's interesting how we also have all the moon phases going on with her as well. So this is very much like, I feel like it's very much a representation of this eclipse energy, and also further affirming the king, not king, the Knight of Pentacles, with affirmation of your dedication, of your energy, of your devotion towards whatever evolution that is coming next. Because I mean, especially if it's been like yesterday with one viewer talked about how it, like, this energy's been evolving her relationships. I couldn't really say this yesterday because I was kind of foggy and tired, but now that I have a bit more energy, I can say this too. Sometimes the evolution as well could be like the change in relationship as well could be also a signal that you two are also changing, and it might be a signal for you to maybe protect some things, like make some moves in silence, because sometimes even the people that might be the closest to you might not be kinfolk in certain areas. So you might need to protect certain things and move forward, maybe announce it after it's completed, not while in the thick of it. That's how I've been doing. I mean, case in point, you saw the evidence while on the channel too. Like you saw, I really wanted to go to that Queen Herbie concert. Ended up going, and I announced that thing all over the place. Though, granted, I try not to sink too much in that kind of belief, but sometimes, sometimes it's good to like keep some things mum, and then there are other things where it might be good to project a little bit, get a little extra help, which is what happened with Japan. So it really is like, this is where human experimentation comes in. There's some things that, like, so you ultimately have to figure out which things are which, and you might get it wrong sometimes. But ultimately, this is humanity. This is this 3D plane that we got here. This is all the chaos that we've got. Bare minimum, the control that we most have is with how we act, even with the how we act and react, even with the resources, how limited or how abundant they are. I would say we have an abundance of resources, of a variety of resources, even if it's not of the monetary value. So remember that there is so much more going for you, and whatever challenge that might be going on at this time, which I'm feeling there's been a lot with all the swords I've been pulling, it's not going to be forever. So glean what you can and believe in yourself, because you got this. So with that, got a couple of songs for you for this week, and I knew it. I knew she was going to come up again. R.I.P. to the old me. Some up call up the corner. Rest in peace to my former. Gonna get just get stressed up so I can go mourn her. I forgot the lyric. Oh my god. But it's a really good song, and I love the beat on this song as well. I recommend it. The music video is like super basic, but I don't mind. I like the super simple stuff sometimes. But it's really good. But yeah. Um But yeah, sometimes even like the challenges, ironically enough, can fertilize your growth. There's will be a line in the second verse that says that. So again, take those opportunities, and also remembering that you are the magic, because we got abracadabra. Come with the bad bee magic. So both of these are from the Beetle House, which is about rituals and magic. Because she has houses. I need to ask her, is she going to do an expansion of this, because there's some pretty good songs that she's recently releasing and might be worth adding, supplementing. But yeah, gonna add these songs as your Queen Herbie prescription of the week. Feel free to listen to these for a little bit of an affirmation of your power, as well as to get through this week. So I recommend also listening to headphones as well, because I mean, the beats hit different when they're through headphones, trust me. But with that, the table is officially open for business for general reads. So, welcome to the stream for all those who are new here. Also, hello to everybody who is tuned in. Hello, Fern, Messa, Lescribe, Healing Wave. I feel like there was one more. Let me see. But yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody for being here. Let me just get my chill hop up here. Hold on. Because like it feels like it's not tarot time without chill hop time. Okay, there we go. There it is. All right. So for my readings, let me just make sure let me just make sure my ads aren't popping up just yet, because I want to make sure y'all get your readings properly. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. So on Sundays, I do a little something called an Oracle Forecast, where I talk about various things to meditate on during the week. I don't do it as a predictive measure in this case. It's more so of a reflective measure, so that way you can really examine different themes of the week and things to pay attention to. This week especially, it is the culmination of eclipse season. So because every time whenever there's an eclipse, it's always the second one right afterwards. It doesn't matter if it's lunar or solar that comes first. There's always a second eclipse that comes afterwards. So we had a solar eclipse in Leo earlier this month, and this weekend we're going to have a lunar eclipse. So it's going to be a very interesting time for sure. For all the insights that are coming up. I certainly have had a lot of insights that have come up personally through this period. So yeah, and then afterwards I just keep an open table about anybody who wants to get a reading from me. My Sundays are usually the shorter of the two, but it seems like this Saturday was the shorter one. But yeah, the readings are free, donation optional. I am open to donations, but it is totally optional if you find it good. But yeah, I pretty much am open to any questions. For the biggest stipulation that I've got is no what I like to call third-party surveillance. I don't like presuming anybody else's actions. If you're requesting a reading on somebody else's behalf, make sure you have their consent. And but yeah, it was something with like cheating or presuming somebody's thoughts, like, does this person like me, etc. And it's like, yo, pay attention to the dynamic. Like, that can tell you a lot. Like, trust your instincts. You got this. I'm probably most likely going to redirect the question more towards affirming your intuition, or maybe examining the vibe of a relationship. If there's more history to it, it's a lot easier for me as well. But otherwise, I don't like presuming people's thoughts, because you know what assuming does? Makes out of you and me, you know? But also, I just feel like a phony whenever I do that too. So and it feels invasive as well. So that's my one big stipulation. Otherwise, ask me whatever you want. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So Fern, aka Hallucinating Reality, you are first up. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that like we were talking about your South Node yesterday, which is like it's in Aquarius in the sidereal and Vedic system. for this full moon and eclipse coming up. So it's no wonder you were already kind of feeling that tension. A little bit of context from yesterday's stream. And then also, oh yeah, that was the other person. Live It from YouTube. Welcome to the stream as well. Ah, okay, no problem. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. The other thing that I have, at least on the Twitch channel side of things, if you look at the channel points, it'll tell you the stuff that I offer as well. I keep forgetting that I have that a lot of the time. So if there's a particular medium that you want me to pull from, because I've got multiple, you can just spend some channel points to tell me that. Oh, Mango Donuts, thanks for the follow. And welcome to the stream. All right, so let me go with my gut. Whatever's coming up, whether it connects to yesterday or not. Okay, let's see. All right, I got you. Okay, let's see. What do I feel like pulling from today? Because I got various mediums. So I've got tarot. I've got various oracle decks. The one that I felt like pulling out this weekend is the Energy Oracle cards. I used to call it Energy Magic for some weird reason, but Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I felt like pulling these out this weekend. I like to try and rotate them when I can. I also frequently use... It's okay, Messa. We just started, so it's all good. I also have the Queen Oracle deck from the rapper Queen Herbie and her spiritual advisor Shabala, Queen of Lions. Shout out to her. She does these really amazing human design readings. Very pretty bag, and also just the finish on these is just really, really nice. But anyways, I always pull a song at the end because I like to give people something tangible for people to listen to, and I never delete these streams. I simulcast them both on Twitch and YouTube, so if the Twitch window for keeping a stream up passes, go to my YouTube channel, which is DJ MK Off the Air, like my primary one, and you can find your reading on there. Might need to fast forward a little bit, but for the most part, I never delete my videos. So yeah. And then I also do pendulum readings. In particular, I do this thing called a chakra checkup. So I have a series of chakra stones that I use that can I can check in with your energy. As I'm in the US, I have to put the disclaimer that it is not a substitution for health advice. So please see a medical professional for anything outside of this purview. But outside of that, it's very spiritually focused, where I tend to focus on the focus on the feeling. I tend to focus on what's going on energetically. And I'm in the process of actually learning a bit of Reiki as well. So maybe down the line, if you do consent to it, I might do healings on stream too. But for right now, I'm still I can just give suggestions as to how you can improve the connection between your energy centers. Yes, you told me about that. And that's good. And a ThinkPad for 366 euros? That's really good. And you got 40 left. That's really good. Congrats. I'm glad the sale went well. Did you do the buy it now feature or the auction one? Ooh, that's nice. Okay, you just did it buy it now. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try some runes, because, for some reason, the runes, they're more straightforward for you, Fern. I don't know why. I mean, I need to get to a point where I can actually memorize the runes. I admit, out of all the mediums I've used, runes are the youngest one. The youngest medium that I use. Spirits want me to flip tables now. I'm thinking one more. Okay. All right. So we have one repeat from last night, but but I feel like it's a continuation of what we were talking about, and I got one song for you. So, one you'll recognize, but the rest are pretty new. So here's what we got. So first rune we got, it's Ingwaz, which is in the 8 of tier. The 8 of tier, which is about the god Freyr and fertility, all this kind of stuff. So, bit of a continuation, because I mean, Fehu was about fertility as well. It was about both of those, actually, Fehu and fertility, Fehu and Ingwaz. But yeah, here it's coming up upright. When it's symbol side up, it means initiating creative ventures that will succeed within 6 to 12 months, taking the conventional route to success, even if slow, promise of better days ahead, fertility, especially for men, meaningful relationships, and love magic. Ing, or Freyr, the Norse fertility god and consort of Mother Goddess Nerthus of Berkano, drove his wagon over the fields after winter to release the fertility of the soil, animals, and people, as described in the Anglo-Saxon rune poem. This was part of a sacred marriage ceremony with Nerthus, and he then withdrew to allow the seeds to germinate and grow. He was also the protective god of the hearth and home. When Ingwaz appears in a reading, launch a venture or initiate communication, but be prepared to wait for a response or results, as patience will pay dividends. It's a good rune if you want a baby, especially if the male in the relationship is having fertility issues. Take the conventional route and study legally, financially, or following a slow but sure career path. And I want to go back to a couple of the runes that I pulled last night, because I know we pulled I remember we pulled Fehu and Othala as 2 of the runes. Let me see because I know in particular the thing that stood out to me with this pull of Fehu was that it felt like especially there needed to be more attention to the emotional matter. The emotional matter of it, and then also in particular, the homesteading aspect. The homesteading aspect was the part that really stood out to me with Othala. I think I only remember it as well as I do is because I just found it really interesting. And then Ingwaz was the reversed one, but this time it came out upright. So clearly something resolved between last night and now, between these two things. But yeah, I'm starting to feel like part of the shift, part of the first part, like, okay, you coming over here was not nothing, okay? Like, you came here for answers, you've been hearing the answers, processing the answers is doing something, okay? Let's get out of the way now. Just because you think doesn't mean you're doing nothing. Now, eventually you have to translate translate the thinking into doing actions. But you haven't done nothing. I have to correct that right there. The fact that this flipped, I think already there's like a thought. There's a thought that turned somewhere, and we're gonna find out what that is. So, let me call that out right now. Thank you. I try. But anyways, for Ingwaz, I think it's kind of going back to even the first time I pulled the runes for you. There was like an indication of some sort of project that's been coming up. So I think there's something that could be, pay attention to whatever inspiration comes up between now and the end of this year, and see what makes you driven to do something. Like, I know you're an artist off camera, like you're an artist whenever you're not online. So I think it's like, pay attention to what inspires you during this time. What's been like turning in your mind, and see how you can express that. Be it in a more private sense, like journaling, or voice notes or something like that, or something more external. Could be anything really at this point. But overall, I just feel like there's some sort of like project or creation that's coming up. Like that's been like the overarching thing that I'm seeing. Could also be career related, because I know you were also looking at stuff for work as well, from what I remember from the past. So let's see what this stuff pans out to be. But yeah, let's go to the second rune here, which is Thurizaz, which is in the 8 of Freya. So similarly to, I mean, this is what I tend to think about. Swap career with love. That's me in a nutshell. Although some with the career too, because I mean I've been struggling to find a job until recently, where I'm finally starting it this week. So woo, finally relief, big financial relief. But I get it. Like especially if you're going by very traditional markers, there can be this sense of like, I have nothing to contribute, or I don't really do anything useful per se. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. I just thought that. I mean, there's multiple dimensions to love. It's not just romance. But yeah, I mean, even like one of my advisors was literally telling me as well when I was talking about that. It's like, you actually do have something to contribute, and all you need to do is just believe in your being as a person. That the fact that you're in a certain space means that your presence and your skills were enough to be there. So you've been selected for a reason. So it's important to trust that whatever brought you there is going to carry you through. And I mean, even if it's like, yeah, like I have that sometimes too. Like it's like a little bit, there's like, that's where like that inner skepticism, like that really deep skepticism could really kick in at the worst possible moment. So I totally get that. And so the next best thing you could do is just do what actions you can and ask questions. Ask questions. Maybe bare minimum, what is it this person needs? Or what does the community need? What does this place need? And then do your best based on the information you've been provided. And that right there is practicing your abilities. That's offering something. I see. Let's see what these other two runes are, and then I'll get to your song in a bit. Yeah. And sometimes if you feel like you're getting too stuck in that myth-busting mode, sometimes getting back into the body or getting back into the environment is the next best thing you can do. Sometimes it can be something as simple as drinking a bottle of water. Which I know y'all been sending the hydrate thing, and I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get better at it. So let me get back to the other runes and see if that clarifies some things. You also might need to work on your lower chakras a little bit more too, because like sometimes, especially if you feel like you're feeling a bit spacey, or like you're like in a head heavy position, it's important to ground. Like ironically, the root in particular, it's the easiest to go out of whack, but ironically, it's also the easiest to realign too. It's really weird like that. But anyway, let's get back to the other runes and see what else we can tell you. So the next one is Thurizaz, which is the third 8 of Freya, and Thurizaz represents the hammer of Thor, and also a thorn. And when it's symbol side up, which it is, it means passion, protection, overcoming challenges and hostility or bullying, potency, successfully challenging an outmoded or corrupt status quo. This is the rune of the thorn, and it's associated both with the thorn as protective tree and with Thor, the god of thunder. In the Norse and Icelandic rune poems, Thurisaz is associated with the Thurs, the frost giants, with Thor, who protected Asgard, realm of the gods, from his magical hammer. Thor's hammer also acted as a sacred symbol at marriages, births, and funerals. The Anglo-Saxon rune poem relates to how the thorn is sharp to grasp, but it offers protection to the vulnerable flower or fruit on a tree or bush. Like Thor's hammer, it can keep away those that would do us harm. When Thurisaz appears in a reading, it says that we should deal with each irritation and injustice as it comes, calmly and firmly. This is better than allowing bullies to remain unchallenged or letting resentment fester until we respond in a totally inappropriate way or turn our unexpressed anger in ourselves. Beware also of hidden spite and barbs towards you, which can be expressed in the blank side of the rune, which it wasn't, but it's kind of important to pay attention to. The blank side didn't appear, but I feel like reading the second part here. Do not be afraid to show your true self and risk rejection, especially if you've been hurt in love. So too should we avoid being overprotective of loved ones because we fear unnecessarily for their physical safety or emotional well-being. So it's very much like a balance here. Exactly. What happens to a dream deferred? Exactly that. So I'm feeling a balance here where it's important that in order to keep a dream alive, especially, there are some, like, in a way, you're kind of challenging the status quo you've been growing up with of, like, you have to narrow down to this one thing, that you have to be this and nothing else, cut everything out, etc. And I find that a lot of dream fulfillment, and I think even people have even said this on TikTok, and various other places, a lot of dream realization or actualization, or even the path towards that, a lot of it is like myth busting your own life and really challenging the things that we have carried or have inherited that may not have been helpful to us. They may have played a protective role, but they may not have been helpful to us. And so Thurisaz, I feel like it's here for you to signal that deferment does not have to be forever. If everything could be challenged, then what should be my grounds? That is a good question. I think the grounds should be your decency, your moral compass. Like, what do you think you and the world need at this time? Go even more basic then. Like, one thing we can all agree on. We all need the fundamental needs. One of the first things I learned when I was an elementary school student was the fundamental needs of people. But I like to overarchingly say fundamental needs of living beings, because we all need this. Everybody needs food, water, and shelter, right? We all need this. I mean, you might have like a few breatharians or something like that may say otherwise, but for the most part, food, water, and shelter. 3 basics you can absolutely agree upon. And to at least have that. You can expand even further as a right to self-expression. Be it identity, be it speech, be it living the life you want to live. Feel free to define that. And then you can fight for helping others be able to do that as well, equally. Or as close to an equitable space as we can. with the humanity that we have. And then gradually expand further. So I'd say start with the base. Start with the things that we can all agree upon. We can, like, the basic bare minimum we all agree upon, or at least like you can easily agree upon, and then expand further. If there's anything that you trip up on, that's where you can self-examine. That's where you can examine further. So, but yeah, I say start with the simplest thing that you know absolutely what you need to do, and then expand. Sometimes it's like you got to start in the beginning and then go outward. I know for some people that work the opposite, where it's like see the overarching picture and then see what detail in the picture that you want to examine at this time. Like the other way you can do it. That's the other way you can do it. Just see the picture you've got in front of you. What are the things that, like, you know based on this picture that you've got, and then maybe treat the picture like in seasons or in sections. Okay, like this perspective over here, what's going on here? And then that's when you can look deeper. So for those who work either way, where like you start big and then go small, or start small and then you go big. And I know an empty canvas can be the most intimidating, but also simultaneously the most freeing. This is where the most fun can be had, because now you can paint a picture with whatever color you want. Sometimes you may just need to just throw something on. And then see what you can make based on what you threw on. Right? Alright, I've got one more rune here. This one did come blank side up, but let's see what it is. Okay, so we've got Awaz. Awaz with an I. And it's the yew tree. And that is in the 8 of Heimdall. Yes, exactly. That exactly. Alright, so Awaz, the yew tree. When it's symbol side up, it typically means loyalty and love and friendship, the value of what is enduring, beginnings after endings, utilizing the resources you're currently having rather than wasting time on regrets. When it's the blank side up, it can mean avoiding throwing away what is of worth because of the excitement or too good to be true offer. Because the yew is the longest living tree, it was adopted by the northern peoples as a symbol of longevity, tradition, and eternal life, and is called in the Norse rune poem the greenest wood in the winter, an evergreen promising life and hope even in the dead season of winter. For this reason, the rune is also in the Icelandic rune poem associated with the bow made from yew wood as a symbol of new life from old and reshaping what is existing, even if not ideal or as planned. When Awaz appears in a reading, like the death card in tarot, this rune never foretells death, but rather sometimes an unwelcome and inevitable ending for its situation or life phase. A new world is waiting, but it cannot appear until you have finished the old business, said goodbye either physically or emotionally, and allowed yourself to mourn. And I have pulled this before. I think that was from that earlier reading I was referencing. Value and give extra input to loyal friends, family, and partners. Any long-term study or training is favored. Listen to the advice of older people or experts. Of course, obviously, use your discernment, because sometimes even people who are considered experts might screw up sometimes, because especially the advice often tends to come from how the industry was when they were successful, and it might not be what it is in the present. So it's good to watch out for what that is. So anyway, if the blank side appears, which it did. Oh, thanks. I can put that right over. Let me see. I guess I'll put it right over here.
You brought dinner.
Shout out to Runcy. She brought me dinner. Anyway, Yes, well, red beans actually. But yes, I love me some rice and beans. I am very African in that sense. I see rice and beans, I eat. Yes. So anyway, getting back to Fern's final part. If the blank side appears, do not be tempted by a quick fix or exciting new friends, or even flirtation if your relationship is in a dull patch. If you're grieving, allow yourself to express your negative emotions rather than bottling them up. Let go of the old voices in your head. And what was I saying earlier from the Oracle forecast? It's very important to, like, if you have some regrets or things that didn't go the way they planned, forgive yourself and allow yourself the space to move forward. Provide yourself some emotional catharsis. Because I know especially, like, maybe take some notes from, like, children in particular, how they just get up and go. Because sometimes you just need to shake it off and move. And remember the joy. I doubt it. Sometimes it's just terrible circumstances. Then I say, maybe start with drumming. Start with whatever interests are calling to you this season, and follow that. Okay? So final card for you. I know I took a while on this, you guys, so thank you so much for your patience. And unlike most tarot readers, if you have to leave early, that's fine. Just feel free to send me your question via the chat, via Whisper, or something else, and I will get to you. Like, regardless if you're here or not, I will read you, okay? I just need something to work with, a bare minimum. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out. And if you happen to leave the stream, rest assured, you can always come back to the next tarot stream and you'll be on the top of the queue. That's how it's worked up until this point, and you can always come back, okay? So finally, the song that I've got for you from Queen Herbie is beautiful. All your flaws are perfect. You should let them show. So, let the beauty shine, my friend. Let that beauty shine. Bell doesn't listen to this one, so it's like the lines aren't coming up. Vulnerability, yes, but also remember, like, you have some gorgeous parts to you too. So embrace that shadow side and let yourself be yourself and let yourself shine. If I am next, eat first. Go BRB, no buts. The rice and beans will not wait. Also, my mom eats them with pineapple on the side. That would kill Runcie, but I can totally see that. Also, ironically, you were the next person. It's a little hot, actually, so I can't really eat them right away right now. It needs to cool off first. It's a little too hot for me. Temp-wise. So, I can wait. Because like, the moment I felt the plate, I was like, ooh. Gotta burn my mouth off. But yeah, that's what I got for you, Fern. I hope that helps. I know it's a little bit of a maze of what's going on, but hopefully it gives you a bit more you can work with. Of course. Of course. Ain't that the truth? Woo! Nice! I love jollof rice. I love it a lot. I mean, my grandmother passed on a recipe to my mom. She basically just like combined. She traveled a lot when she was a teacher, so she basically took the best of each region that she traveled to and just made her own recipe from it. Yeah, I love jollof rice. I love it so much. My mom makes the best version. And yeah, sometimes she does actually put mushrooms in it too. Like, my dad and I forage mushrooms a lot. So sometimes she would throw them in. But yeah, so good. But all right, Messa, I'm ready for you. Hit me with what you got. I'm gonna throw on an ad just to. Oh wait, I can't throw it on. Never mind. I was gonna say I was gonna throw on my ad just to make sure nothing interferes with this reading, but I remembered you're subscribed, so it wouldn't interfere with you too much. And then also, it's already in the it's still in the window of it just happening, so I couldn't really do anything if I wanted to. Okay, message from your guides. You got it. I'm feeling this one. All right. And I don't know why I'm thinking of the song Freakum Dress by Beyonce. It has like very 2000s Beyonce. Oh my god, that sounds so good. Oh my gosh, like my dad just bought like a giant bag of chickpeas, and I've been wanting to make some chickpeas for like a hot minute. Ooh, okay. Go get food. I know, that's my issue. I always tend to stream around dinner time. I mean, I technically already ate a little bit too, but like... Oh my gosh. But yeah, if you need to like, since I mean, I heard the trick apparently is like if you want to like, if you want to get yourself more, if you want to get yourself more, you're hungry sometimes. I mean, I guess it's kind of different. I guess it's kind of different for some people. Apparently, if you want to be, apparently, if you want to like be more. Like have a bit more, like buy yourself more time while you're prepping something. Go for something more sweet. If you want to like help yourself have more of an urge to eat, go for more savory stuff. Of course, it might depend on the culture because it might be the opposite for some places. I forget where I even found that fact, but anyway. So I got 3 cards from the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. And I got a couple of Queen Herbie songs for you. So that should give you some clues. But yeah, I think that's why I was like feeling the sense of like, you need to embody. That's hilarious. But okay, Messa, here's what I got for you in terms of messages from your guides. So we got action. I've never pulled this one, actually. This is interesting. Okay, number 17. What flavor are they? Cool Ranch or I know it's like 3 or 4 flavors now for the Doritos. I always like the red one. Anyway, so for action, meaning energizing effort. Hey, Tanya. I'm good. Thanks for asking. How are you? I'm doing Messa's reading right now. So if you want to jump in for another one, feel free to like say !join. Okay? Hey, that's good to hear. All right, so for you, Mesta, we got action first. Energizing effort, willingness to work. Upright, it means that it tells you that now is the time for more aggressive forward movement. The galloping horses represent intentional and concerted action directed to your goals. This card, upright, indicates that you are on the right track, but your determined efforts must increase. The white horse is the inner action of spirit and thought. The black is the outer work that still needs to be done. So continue taking action and trust your intuition. In time, you'll break through and see the results you've been working so hard to create. So something's been working out for you. I don't know what it is. And I had no urge to read the reverse side here. So that's interesting. So I feel like there's something that's been there's something that must have been working. I mean, I know for sure you talked about earlier about the Pokemon sale, and I feel like there might be like a trend of something else going on that could be like your next step, or whatever you could do with the leftover euros, maybe like putting it towards savings or some other investment or something. Whatever it is, like something's been working for you. So I'd say just keep paying attention to what signals are coming through. And let me see. I think it's also simultaneously like pay attention to like what you've accomplished. Like celebrate those accomplishments, those little things that you've done, and then use that as fuel for your next set of actions. So the next one is the thinking man. For some reason, it decided to come upside down. So I'm wondering what's going on. So I'm going to read the upright meaning first, and then I'm also going to read the reversed. So the card shows a man stand. So thinking man is male of wisdom or understanding. So upright, here's what it says. This card shows a man standing before an archway, gazing at a crystal in his hand. He is a thoughtful and reflective man, representing the potential presence of a teacher in your life now, or about to arrive soon. This person may be there to educate you in the finer details of your chosen direction, or may be there to assist you in specific spiritual, mental, or emotional pursuits. The card is telling you to pay attention, for this could lead to great strides in personal or professional growth. This man may also be a love interest coming your way, or perhaps a new male friend. Be on the lookout for this guide in the physical world and be open to his information. Learn what you can. A new discipline, technique, course of study, or healing practice could change your life forever. When it's reversed, however, it could mean that they could represent a male in authority who is not acting in your best interests. But this card reversed is also more about you than others in your life. The card in this position usually indicates such learning and growth are actually part of your own path, and you're not heeding the call. You may be destined to be a therapist, teacher, writer, publisher, psychic, or healer of some sort. Your soul longs to serve in this capacity, whether professionally or just in your personal life, but something seems to be blocking your way. But it's time to break through and move in this direction now. Remember, what you learn during your own growth, you'll be able to share with others, often adding your own compassion and profound personal wisdom. Is there something you've been resisting? Or some sort of offer? Or some sort of thing that you've wanted to do, but you just haven't been able to do so? What adventure have you been resisting? That's what I'm feeling with this whole thing. It's like, what have you been resisting? Ah. I see. What? No chemistry? Or just not feeling it? That's the thing, Nesta. Sometimes with something as massive as love, initially, you might not be ready. I learned this the hard way. And the ironic thing is, like, I actually had a crush on this person. It just hit me. And then I kind of, for lack of a better phrasing, I kind of killed the feeling as quickly as it came up, because I've had a history of I mean, I never acted on it, but like I have this history of like falling for people that are basically considered unavailable, essentially. They're dating someone else or they're taken. And ironically, I kind of felt like a relief that they were taken in some ways, because then I could easily just like, I could be myself fully, finally. I basically took on the condition. I took on the invisible rule of like, I've had to act like this perfect person to this person, even though I know deep down it's BS. This person loves me for me. And so when he actually expressed that he liked me back, I was like, oh God, quick, I gotta bring up the feelings that I had before. And I couldn't. And I felt bad. And just when I thought I had, like, I mean, I actually watched Thor: Love and Thunder at one point. A little bit before my birthday, I might add. And I was like, that was when I finally felt ready to kind of take the leap. But then that's ironically when things kind of turned and we went back to just being friends. Ironically then. So sometimes it's not really about readiness so much as courage. Taking the action despite fear. There's a really good there is a really good quote from the Princess Diaries from Mia's dad that really fits best. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something is more important than fear. The brave may not live forever, but the cautious do not live at all. So, especially when it comes to love, I know people say like it's better to, I mean, a lot of people tend to talk about like how it's better to be like on your own than to be in a terrible relationship. It's also just as true that it's better to know that at least you tried to expand your world, however small of a way it is, that you actually loved, than to say that you've never loved at all. And that is also including my ace arrow people, okay? Because even if you don't experience romantic people or romantic feelings, you still experience love of some degree, okay? And I still say that it's better to love with loss than I've never loved at all. That's one thing that's absolutely true. And oh, okay, yeah, I know we want to talk about Japan for a little bit, Tanya. I'll briefly go to this and then we'll get back to this. I was thinking about what you said about Southern Japan being way different from the North, and it's noticeable. Like, one of my friends from Osaka is very open into metal music, and so she's like my bestie. Stereotypical happy otaku gets happy saying stuff from toku and anime. Oh, yeah. And actually, funnily enough, there was this one student that I came across. She's a huge old school hip hop and R&B fan. Like, she listened to like Tupac and Biggie and Aaliyah, like that kind of stuff. Like, that stuff doesn't really cross over outside of the US, and she knew this stuff. Like, she felt like a sister from another mister. Yep, R.I.P. to the GOAT. R.I.P. to a GOAT. Yeah, like, I felt like we had like this, there was like this giant billboard that came up in like New York and Philly that had like her image on it, and the moment I saw that on TV, I was so heartbroken. Like, I was a little kid. Like, Aaliyah was like huge part of my childhood. We danced to her songs all the time. Like, you could, like, I can only imagine how massive she and even Selena would have been if they were still around. Left eye! Ah! God. That was another one. Hey, Busy. Welcome to the stream. I'm finishing up one reading here. But yeah, welcome. I do tarot readings and I also play games. Today is tarot reading night. So if you want a reading from me, type an exclamation point in the chat and I'll get to you. Yes, we are talking Black Queens too, of course. But yeah, like a lot of those people just kept so many great artists that they should be here. Hello, Max. Welcome to the stream. I'm in the middle of doing a reading tonight. Weekends are my tarot reading nights. Saturdays, I like to call Seer Saturday, so it's kind of like an open desk kind of deal. And then Sundays, it's called the Oracle Forecast. So I do like readings for the week to help people like prep for the week. And then I do like an open table of like, okay, what questions do you got for me in terms of things I want me to pull for you? So I'm in the middle of a reading, actually. But yes, thank you. You too. And also thanks for the raid as well. Yeah, I agree. Like, Lisa is a talent, but, like, the solo stuff didn't hit as good. Like, the stuff that she did with TLC just hit different. And, like, you could tell, like, the breakup really affected her. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I find the Southern Japanese people to be very chill. And even my friend who's lived in Japan for about 6 years, he's been there for about 6 years now. Maybe a little longer, actually. He's worked there for a while, but I think he only just started living there like the last 4 years. But anyways, he said even he prefers the South a lot more. He has a house in Tokyo and Osaka. But he loves the South a lot more. And he really wants to go to Fukuoka one day. So, yeah. I'm glad you remembered to raid, Weaver. Thanks so much for showing up. I appreciate it. But yeah, let's get back to you, Messa. So I got one more card for you from this deck, and then I got a couple songs from Queen Herbie that you can listen to. And yes, absolutely, you should join in my music listening party that's happening on my Discord server. You should join us for that. It's a lot of fun. It's happening on Sunday. Not today, but next week. You should come for that. But anyway, the final card that I got for you from this Oracle deck is the Door to Value. I think I pulled this with one other person, and that person was not me. But but yeah, that's pretty cool. Door to Value, new beginnings in finance or career. Yeah, have a good time too, Weaver. Thanks so much for tuning in. Various on the north side, which is more uptight. Adoptive families from Kanto. I think it's exhausting. Oh, that would do it. But yeah, here's the rest for you, Messa. This card shows a door with a gold coin on it, opening to a place that's filled with light and bright potential. Oh, Fuji's. Love them. The cover of Killing Me Softly. I also like the song Ready or Not, because I mean that Enya sample was just perfect. I think like Enya was way too sore about that. Bare minimum, yes, get your royalties, but that's so, like Ready or Not was how I got into Enya, ironically enough. That and the Indigo Moods commercials that ran back in the 90s with the Orinoco Flow song. But yeah, the Fugees. I'm glad the reunion happened too. Oh my god. But anyway, let me get back to the card here. Money, coins, and jewels flying toward you through the open door, revealing a golden city beyond. All of this points to the potential for exciting new beginnings or expansions where work or money are concerned. Perhaps a new opportunity is totally unexpected, or perhaps it's something you've been working toward for quite a while. Either way, keep your eyes open for this new beginning to appear in your life. Know that anything you value may be open to you now. Remain conscious and creative, and get get ready to step through the door. So clearly there's something new coming through. That's what I've been feeling this sense. I mean, I think like you selling on eBay was like the first step, and there's something else coming forward later. The biggest thing that I'm seeing, I mean, especially with the thinking man coming up reversed, the biggest hint that I'm seeing for you at this time is to pay attention to where old school modes of authority might not be serving you. And also, if there's something you've been resisting, it might be good to embrace it. Because if you embrace whatever you've been resisting, it makes it way less painful for number one. And then for number two, it could lead, like, even if it's not like necessarily like the forever thing per se, it could lead you closer to the thing that is the thing that works better for you. You never know. I say give it a try. Vampires. Hey, question, Thomas. Have you heard of the Japanese artist? Is it Alana? Her fans are like, she cannot make a bad song. She has an amazing voice. I came across a meme about Alana, and then somebody said, "What, like, did she play Rolling in the Deep?" And then somebody said, "That's Adele." Or is it not? Is it? But yeah, I think I've heard of her. I don't know if I know any of her songs. But all right, so I got a couple of songs for you from Queen Herbie. Speaking of music. Ooh, okay. So we got Mother Teresa. She came up yesterday for whatchamacallit, for Tanya during the pool last night. And Chuck E. Cheese. I'm peace everywhere I go. Very good one. Like, it feels like something that this is something like I feel like I would listen to on a road trip or something. with the way the beat hits. It's good melody. Like, I pulled this from one of my friends because like she was originally worried about like how her sister was gonna go, like how her visit with her sister was gonna go. But then I pulled this card and it was like, you're gonna be okay. And then she was like, okay, I'm fine. And then she came back a little later. It's like, yeah, that song was really accurate, actually. Thank you for pulling that. So I love music readings. Also, I love Killing Me Softly as well. I really want to perform that at least once. Bow, 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 bow. But yeah, feel free to Tanya, feel free to like send me some songs you want me to listen to, because I'm always open to new music. They say once we hit we hit our 30s, especially once you hit like around 33, 34, you stop listening to new things and you just stick with like the stuff that you already knew since like high school or middle school. And I'm like, try me. Thus the music listening parties, because now I get to learn new music. Now, granted, I haven't exactly regularly listened to the tracks that we've put on there since I started doing them, but I don't care. I'm learning new music. I'm learning what I like, and I'm just like, yes. I mean, does anybody remember that video game that video game that was on there at one point, I think it's called Evolve. Like, that game lasted a very short time, but they used like an orchestral version with like a kids choir of Fuji's Ready or Not. But yeah, it's a good song. And then I think it even got sampled with this one Gen Z artist that my cousin used to listen to as well. I just forgot who it is. But it's because she was like trying to like imitate a lot of the Disney stars a little bit, and she sampled Ready or Not in like the opening lines. And I was like, respect the Fugees! That's what I got for you, Messa. My dog was probably going crazy when I was playing metal, then classical, then folk, then weird experimental in a span of a few minutes. That is freaking hilarious. I love that. I assure you guys, I'm usually not this all over the place, but I've been wanting to chat more with people. Have fun, Messa! And Busy, thank you so much for the follow. So yeah, for those who are new to the channel, welcome. I do tarot on the weekends, and then during the weekdays, which is like, so far it's been like about like two times a week. I do gaming as well, of whatever's in my arsenal. So I do tarot. I've been like, next month will actually make it a year since I started doing like regular card pulls on my Twitch, and that has been like, I think to this day it's like one of my most popular things that I do on here, and I really appreciate y'all, for those who've been regularly coming over, like Messa and Fern and Tanya. They've been a number of people who have been on the channel for a very long time for doing this, so I appreciate y'all. But yeah, here is what I do. So I do various kinds of mediums. If you look at my channel points, you can also, Luna, hello. We're getting rated a lot today. I appreciate that. Thank you. So here's what I do. So I do a variety of mediums. I do oracle cards. I do runes. I do tarot. I always finish with a song from the Queen Herbie Oracle deck. She's like a spiritual rapper. Shout out to her and Shabala, Queen of Lions, her spiritual advisor. I also pull from the Sakura and Cloud cards from Captain Sakura. Oh, you're just chilling. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for tuning in. So yeah, in terms of how this works, I'm pretty much open to anything. I do generals. I do any topic that you ask me. The only restriction I have is I don't like to do what I like to call third-party surveillance. I don't like to presume people's thoughts. I don't like to speculate if somebody's like, let's say, like cheating, if there's like a romantic thing going on, per se. I just don't like to presume people's thoughts, because like assuming makes, well, you know what it does. It makes end of you and me, right? And then also it feels invasive for me too. So I might redirect it towards like helping you reinforce your energy, and also really just tapping into your intuition. Because if you've been feeling something's off, it's not without reason, so let's work together to figure that out. And of course, if you're asking for a reading for somebody else's behalf, make sure you have their consent first, at bare minimum, okay? So, outside of that, I do anything. I've done the most interesting things. And oh yeah, I also have this other thing I do called a chakra checkup. So I just check up on your energy, and I can give you some tips on how to like get things back to center. I am working on a Reiki a Reiki certification right now. So eventually I might offer healings on stream whenever I finally get to that point. But for right now, it's like I can give you a few tips as to how to get things back together. Now, honestly, my adoptive mom is a pretty strict person. Like, she's a good person, but I just felt like all my life with her, the moment I did something that disappointed her, I felt like she was staring in the back of my head. I feel like she was this oppressive shame kind of feeling. That's how it felt. I love her still, though. So welcome to I'm happy to be here as well. I love chatting with you. Yeah, of course. Can I ask you a non-related Oracle/Tarot question? Okay, if you say no, of course. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, of course. Hit me with it, Luna. And then Healing Wave, if you're still here, feel free to write down your question. If Healing Wave is not here for a little bit, let me just double check to make sure my ads aren't popping up. Okay, ads aren't starting in 2 minutes. Okay, Spirit Guide Guest messages, you got it. Oh, okay, that's a good question. Want to know about my time at Harvard? Okay, so I got 2 minutes. Okay, let me just snooze this one. All right, so I got 5 minutes. All right, so you're kind of wondering, okay, my Harvard background. So I was at Harvard immediately after my graduation from my undergrad. My undergrad degree was in English. It was kind of more general, so it covered literature and movies, but also video games. It was a new medium back when I was in my first institution, which was the University of Delaware, which, fun fact, President Joe Biden attended that school. So when he got elected, you can imagine what a big deal it was when he was. So I went for Harvard because I've done a lot of interfaith work for a long time. I've been joining a lot of interfaith organizations. I even work at a Unitarian Universalist fellowship not far from here, from my home town. And so I was looking for a place where I could study theology more intensely. And the tendency a lot of the time when it comes to spiritual institutions is that they tend to study religion often from a comparative gaze, usually from Judaism or Christianity. And oftentimes, like, okay, let's study this religion from the gaze of usually Christianity. And oftentimes, subtly, there tends to be a sense of, like, this is why this faith is the superior path over this other one we were studying. And so I really wanted a place that was accredited, obviously, but then also taught the theologies as they were from that experience, be it from a convert or a regular old person who was born and raised in the faith. And Harvard was the only seminary that fit that bill. So that's how I applied there. I got accepted, and literally not long after I got accepted, boom, lockdown occurred. So the majority of my classes actually were remote. I didn't get a chance to step onto campus until literally the year I graduated. So I had a required on-campus requirement. But like the majority of my classes were remote. So it was kind of like I kind of had like a work hybrid situation where I would go to class on my computer and then I'd go to work, or more often than not, I would go to work as an event technician. I was still working at the University of Delaware at the time. And then I would come back and then go to class in the middle of the night. So that's why I'm pretty used to like speaking on camera and speaking with a mic in front of me all the time, because a lot of the classes were remote. They were remote. So I did not have that much campus experience, but the one campus experience I did have, it was a lot of fun. I'll warn you up front, Boston gets really cold, so highly recommend, like, even with global warming, so I highly recommend bringing a jacket when you go, but also be prepared to enjoy public transit a lot, because I did not have to use like taxis like Lyft or Uber even once when I was there. Actually, I only used it twice, and that was only to move my bags. That was it. Otherwise, it was trains. And I honestly prefer that. I like walking. I like trains a lot. And there's a lot of nice parks around the area as well. I even stayed at a really nice hostel in Chinatown called Hosteling International. Shout out to Jimmy. He's a really great manager. He does like these epic movie nights, especially if you go there the first month of the year. He does the Lord of the Rings marathons, and he always makes sure it's the extended edition as well. And if you have a movie request, he'll find a way to fulfill it for you. He's really nice. And then in Back Bay, there's a lot of really nice nightclubs. It's like the wealthy district. It's kind of like it's like the Brooklyn of Boston in a way, where it's like a lot of the rich brownback buildings were there, but then also a lot of the classic jazz schools like Berkeley, and a lot of the old jazz clubs where a lot of the famous talents got discovered were also there. Fun fact, Queen Herbie, the rapper that I I often pull cards for. She and her husband attended Berkeley. But yeah, there's a lot of really nice jazz clubs up there. I went there almost every other night when I was in Harvard after class, like oftentimes after class, because they were open late. They were often open till like 4 a.m. And then there's another club. There was another place called Roxy's Grilled Cheese. The MIT location in particular, if you showed your ID or your passport, and you showed that you were like over, I think you had to be like over 21 to go through it. There's a secret barcade in the back that's like you go through like a secret refrigerator door to get through. It's really cool. Oh my god, Fujila! Yes, that's a really good one. I also love Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is my favorite Lauryn Hill album. Okay? Like, that was her magnum opus in my opinion. Like, she hasn't matched up to that since, and I'm hoping that she comes up with like a sequel to that at some point to like cover her present life, maybe like some of the difficulties that she had in terms of why concert life was so hard for her, etc. And I don't know if you know this YouTuber, his name is FD Signifier. He did this really interesting analysis on how Lauryn Hill became popular, and in particular with Black culture, how the selection process, especially like with the community selection process, it's very, very harsh when it comes to bringing up exceptional talent, because you have to really be exceptional in order to make it. And her debut actually was through this stage show. I used to watch it when I was a kid. It's technically still going on, just no longer on camera. It's a show called Showtime at the Apollo, and she auditioned for that. And Sister Act 2, it's another good movie. Shout out to one of my former bosses, Kara. She loves that movie. We used to do the dance as well. But yeah, she auditioned for Showtime at the Apollo, and it's one of the hardest shows to get a contract from. But like, basically, if you make it on there, you're basically set for life. And it's almost like like the equivalent of like hazing, but on stage, because initially the crowd is not gonna take it easy on you. They will boo, they will hiss, they will do all of these things to get you intimidated. And it's basically kind of like the Balmoral test in The Crown, essentially, where you have to go through every single harsh circumstance you possibly could when it comes to performing and see if you don't buckle under pressure. It's a very harsh exposure, but it's how a lot of the famous talents like Lauryn Hill actually made it through the industry. It's because of that. But it's not great for ads. Okay. But at least Messa's still online, so we could probably sum it up here. But yeah, long story short, it's basically how a lot of the big talents have been able to make it into the industry. But it's like, when you think about like how some of these talents actually turned out afterwards, be it Lauryn Hill, be it ones like Michael Jackson or any other people who have gone through those kinds of environments, it kind of makes you question, which is the question I always ask with the Suit of Swords especially, victory at what cost? Because they made it to the industry, but at what cost to their emotional health and stuff? Because that booing, even if you know it was like a test, like an endurance test, it still kind of hits your psyche, doesn't it, when you think about it? And so that FD Signifier video made me really rethink about like how come Lauryn Hill kind of almost flopped later on because of that harshness. Exactly. And that's something they never really teach. They never really teach it. They kind of presume that that's what you have to do. It's like, if you screw up, that's okay. Stay calm, move on. And I mean, thankfully I have been taught this, but like not everybody gets that lesson until probably much later. But yeah. yeah, like, professional music's not for the faint of heart. So for those who have pushed through, kudos to them. Yeah, like, I think it also helped that, like, the person that I knew, like, the person that I got taught this from also happened to play in front of the Pope as well. He played for Pope Francis when he visited Philadelphia. And I think even his dad played for a Pope at some point too. So it's like he has this musical lineage. So like he's pretty down low about that though. Like he's pretty humble. But yeah, dude played for the Pope. So he told us that when we were in choir, like when we did choir, and we rehearsed so much to make sure we did not miss our notes, or especially like we didn't lose our confidence, right? So yeah, it's intense. All right, back from ads. Welcome back. All right, Healing Wave. This is what I got for you as messages from your guides. I got 4 tarot cards here and a couple of songs from Queen Herbie that you can listen to after this. So hope you like them. But anyway, here's what I got. So first off, we got the Chariot. I really like this iteration of the Chariot because, like, I feel like it's like a continuation of the story, and the figure on top kind of reminds me of the Hierophant, even though it's not the same guy. It's a very different figure, but it kind of reminds me of that every time I see him. But the Chariot usually means victory, and what is it about black and white horses? This is the second card that I came across with this symbolism in mind. But anyways, the Chariot's usually about, like, at least when with a I can speak. When it comes to the traditional when it comes to the traditional meaning of the Chariot, it usually means like victory or like having a good direction, and uniting contradictory or opposing energies towards one goal or one path of the journey and directing it skillfully. That's what it usually means. And clearly there's something that's working, but also it's a call for you as well to, if there's something that you've really wanted to do or accomplish or experience, go full steam ahead with it. Really take an assessment maybe of what obstacles what practical or personal obstacles have been getting in the way of what your dream has been, and make some plans, make some ideas as to how you can get through them. Of course, there are some where you're probably not going to know what to do until you cross that bridge when you come to it. But overall, trust in your determination. You will get through to the other side. I mean, that was me with Harvard too, because I mean, don't get me wrong. It was kind of nice not having to ride all the way to Boston with my stuff and stress out about, okay, how am I gonna live in Boston? Because Boston's a really expensive city. How am I gonna do all that stuff? Didn't have to think about that, and at least I could still work while going to school at the same time, which for most grad students, that's what tends to happen. But there were some points in that journey where I was like, am I really worthy of this? Because, especially, fun fact, in the past, I wasn't the greatest, like, most dedicated student per se, especially when it came to homework. But when it came to Harvard, I really focused on that being, in a way, my reset button, to really redirect my energies towards something that I knew that, number one, that I enjoyed, and number two, that this could pave the way for the rest of my life. So let me at least go excuse me, go ahead and see what happens with this degree. And I've gone on so many interesting adventures, and the graduation ceremony we had during that also was one of the biggest ones that Harvard has had in a long time. They inaugurated the first ever Black American and female president of the school. The commencement speaker was also Tom Hanks. He was really good as well. Highly recommend watching it. Commencement speaker, funnily enough, for, like, I think it was the law school, was Michelle Yeoh. I wish I could have snuck in towards that. They were actually giving away gavels. I wish I got one now. And there were so many people who were actually wearing stoles that quoted Legally Blonde and said, what? Like it's hard? And I didn't know I was even doing that. I didn't watch Legally Blonde until after I graduated, funnily enough. So when people whenever they hear me about like getting into Harvard, like, wait, what? You went to Harvard? And I'm like, sometimes I did sometimes think, kind of take on the Elle Woods approach of like, what? Like it's hard? But I really appreciated it. I really appreciate it now, thinking about like how hard, like how intense that course was, especially doing it during the lockdown. But I'm glad I did it. There were so many things I wish I'd done, but I'm glad I did it. So getting back to the chariot, to circle back around and also kind of filling in a bit more of Luna's question here. Yeah, the chariot, it's very much about like, if you've got an aspiration, go for it. Like, make some, like, even if the huge steps are difficult, take some small ones. Like, maybe do a Google search of, let's say you want to make a trip. Take a Google search and like look up some flights. You don't have to buy it, especially if you don't have the funds or the access right away. But just look up some sites that you want to see. Check out the demeanor of the people, cultural notes, that kind of stuff. That's just an example. But yeah, like, the energies are right for you now to really focus on what it is you really want and go for it. Have faith in that vision. If you get obstacles in your way, acknowledge them, bless them, see opportunities as they are, move forward. Move forward. That's the aim of the game here, and also that's the message I got as well from the Oracle forecast earlier. So, next up, we got the High Priestess. Time to bless and release it. Meet talk with your light. It's another good song, good Queen Herbie song as well, if you want to listen to it. Unfortunately, I don't have the card for that, because it came out right when that song came out, so it's not a card. But anyway, it's about serendipity, insights, introspection, intuition. Pay attention to your visions. So more direction. It's more direction. So like, pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to what inspires you. No problem, Tanya. Didn't feel Mother Teresa, but Chuck was good. Got it. I usually tend to add the Good Morning track right before Mother Teresa, because they're technically supposed to be together as like one giant song. It's like a meditation. But yeah, understandable. Yeah, sometimes like there's some things that are just not your cup of tea when it comes to the beat. Like for me, it's hacky sack. Like hacky sack is not my thing, but I get the sentiment. But yeah, that was also pretty early on her transformation versus Chuck E. Cheese was a little later, I think. But yeah, getting back to High Priestess. Pay attention to the signals that the universe is giving you. Whether it's an interest that you're, like a rabbit hole of interests you're going down. Whether it's a repeating message or a repeating idea that's coming up. Your gut will never steer you wrong. I mean, they say that, the society tends to feel like as if they have to like listen to the rational part, ignore your feelings, etc. No. It's not about ignoring. It's about using which tool for which area of your life. Each one is good for each thing, okay? So there's some things that the brain is going to be useful for, your mind is going to be useful for, and there are other things where you need to use your spirit and your gut and your heart. You're going to, like, eventually you'll figure out which is which. It's not going to be perfect. Like, perfection is not the name of the game here, but in this case here, it's more so the call is for you to tap into your power, because we all have it. We all have those special things within us, being the artist of life, the artists of life that we are. And we need your art. Whether you're a little artist or not, we need your art. We need your expression, whatever that happens to be. So that's the High Priestess. Then next we got Judgment. Whoop! Judgment. And there's something good. I think there's some good news coming your way from what I'm feeling from this. And Judgment as well, it's also about actualization and understanding. So pay attention to the signals of the universe and putting your energy towards a direction, a concentrated direction, whatever that is, will make it easier in the meantime. While that's running in the background of going towards that thing, it'll make it easier as well to open up to whatever revelations that you need to know in this season, especially since now we're in the midst of an eclipse season. There's a lot more things, hidden factors coming up than usual. And so if you're scared about like your motivations being honest and true, you don't have to worry about that, because they are. Because you might have thought about this thing for a very long time, the ramifications, the costs, what it takes to get to this other side. Things will be unveiled as you go. So don't worry. At this point, the focus is more on showing up as much as you can to that space and looking at the multitudes that are in your life and going deep into the layers. I mean, we talk about unmasking a lot, but then it kind of is the presumption that there's only like one genuine self underneath. I don't think there's just one. I think there's multiple, because we are adaptable beings. So it's important that you embrace your multitudes within. And if anything, the call is for you to examine those multitudes and embrace them all, whether they're brilliant or unappealing. The biggest thing is love and understanding of all those multitudes. So that's the next piece of advice here. So the final tarot card I got for you is the Tower. And don't be scared, don't be frightened. Usually most of the time when I get the Tower, it's kind of like, okay, there's some foundations that are shaky right now, so might be time to reset a little bit. So let's pay attention to the things that might be destabilizing for us at this time. Let's challenge some unhelpful ideas that may have held me back, or destructive, or just being unsure. Okay. Usually with this, whenever I pull the Tower, it's like, okay, you got a little bit of time to like fix some things or bring some more support to keep things upright, or even just rebuild and reset. It's something that actually works better for you, to a place that makes a lot more sense, especially if it's making you feel a sense of unease or not belonging. I don't know why that came up, but like, not belonging is the word that kind of like, unbelonging is undoing. That seemed to come up in my brain. But long story short, all of this, whether it's going down a path that you want to go down, like a path of success, trusting your intuition, trusting the insights that will unfold in the time that you need them, that requires an immense sense of trust, both to yourself and the universe. And if you've had to be made to betray that in any way, shape, or form, please know it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Like, our fellow adults, our authority figures, might have, intentionally or not, been asking us to do a betrayal of that sense for the sake of propriety, dignity, those kinds of things. But the best thing, though, about this is that you can rebuild. You can bring that trust and connection back again when you come at it with a willingness. And be very patient with yourself. At first, the voice is very, very subtle, very quiet. But eventually, it comes through in more obvious ways. Could be a magnetism, could be a voice, could be an idea. Some will call it insanity. I call it insight. Regardless of what they call it, no one can deny its existence. Shook! Okay. Did not plan on saying that, but hey, I guess I kind of felt a little bit of the Queen Herbie energy channeling through. Which, speaking of Queen Herbie, I got a couple of songs for you. Feel free to listen to them in your own time. And the fun thing is Queen Herbie also has a house. Queen Herbie also has a house system, a la Hogwarts, but way more inclusive. Well, thank you. I try. And hey, it's my house this time. It's the Koi house. Koi house represent. So we got two here. One is chakras. We're no longer accepting negative energies in our space. And the other one is Herbie house. Took some real bad karma, turned that into gold. So it's really about turning things around. It's like about no longer tolerating things that have been suppressing your self-expression, suppressing your self-worth, suppressing your inherent power and worth, which this is here to remind you of that you are the magic. Ooh, that would be fun, actually. I'll see if Hyun is down for drawing some. I know they're about to go into school soon, so it might be a little tricky, but we'll find a way. We'll find a way to include some. But yeah, remember your power, know your worth, and you can set the parameters of what you will and will no longer stand. I mean, Queen Herbie songs like hit. I did a poll for myself. It was all red. It was all the Tiger House, and the last one just found out when I pulled that. It was like when I listened to that song, I was like, "Excuse me!" Like that opening line smacked me in the keister. Okay. Holy. But yeah, like when she hits, I have to say. So I'll warn you that much. Also, might be good to listen to it via headphones, because like her husband, Jedi Nick, you can hit the bass real good. Okay. Anyway, that's what I got for you, Healing Wave. Thanks so much for tuning in. Feel free to come back and update, like, how have things been going for you? Because I love hearing from you guys about how these readings pan out, and it's been so much fun. Because this is what I love about Twitch as well, because y'all have been really good about feedback. I love it when I get to hear your stories. Because sometimes it could be... It's really funny, because sometimes it could be literal. Because there was one time I pulled some cards for Fern, and there was a storm card that pulled up, and it was a literal storm literally hit right after for her after I pulled that card. And then there are other times where it gets like metaphorical. Well, things go in my favor about a personal matter and some people who have hurt me. Even the lights went out. That was freaking hilarious, because like I rarely get literal with my readings, but when I do, it's hilarious. Because I don't do timings. I just do I do mainly like intuitive hits. Okay, Ashi. Faye was almost literal too, I guess. I guess so. Like, that's the part I think we're still figuring out what the runes are with you, but for some reason, it's been giving you much clearer answers than all my tarot stuff. Ooh, go for it, man. Yeah, so we're doing kind of like a playlist thing this time. So feel free to add the songs to the forum thread. So on Discord, I do a listening party once a month, and you can feel free to check out the playlist of the previous tracks I've put on there if you're curious. The server should be linked down below. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yes, I remember that. Hello, symbols for wear. Welcome to the stream. Tonight is tarot night, or card reading night. So if you want a reading from me, feel free to type in !join, and then I will explain how it works. All right. It's all right, Ashi. I mean, I'm not feeling I tend not to do yes or no questions because, like, it doesn't work the best with these kinds of cards, but I'll see what I can find out in terms of the personal matter. Oh, yeah. So I've been using the Lightseers deck by Chris Ann. I have many other ones. I also have the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Pui Moon Law. I love this deck in particular. I always pull a song from this so that way you can have like a vibe to take away from it. It's called the Queen Herbie deck. Shout out to Queen Herbie and Shabala, Queen of Lions. It's a very pretty deck. I even love the bag that it comes in because it literally says, "You are the magic." It's really well done too for an indie, especially since it's an indie deck. I also have runes. I also do this thing called a chakra checkup, so I can like check on your energy, and I can give you tips on how you can make sure everything's kind of like nice and back in shape if things are kind of out of whack. And I also even pull from the Sakura and Cloud cards from Cardcaptor Sakura, the TV show, because they're actually pretty good divination tools as well. And I read a bunch of other oracle decks as well. So I have like these ones I've been pulling quite a bit today. The Energy Oracle deck by Sandra Ann Taylor, which I'm starting to feel like I might need to pull this one for Eshi for a little bit more clarity. I used to do Reiki, the chakra balance thing I messed around with. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm still working on like getting like an energy healing certification. Like I technically have like my own system that I do, but I still would like to go through some official channels at least to kind of make it a bit more consistent. Eventually I would like to offer some healings on the channel too, but for right now it's like very much like a basic I do more of like a basic detection system. And then I'll do like healings eventually once I get more skill. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that one just wanted to fly. Okay. I got a few here. All right. I think that's all it felt like jumping out. Hopefully it's not the same ones. But oh, the second one? I think it was this one I pulled, right? Yeah, the Queen Herbie one. And she has like a house system akin to Hogwarts, but way more inclusive. I love this deck so much. I always end my readings with a song. Because Queen Herbie is like a music artist. Originally, she and her husband were part of this musical duo called Carmen. I can spell it out. Because, I mean, they still do perform sometimes. They actually just got back from tour. They started off as that. They went viral for their cover of Look at Me Now by Busta Rhymes. And then after they got their Hollywood contract, they were like, yeah, this ain't working for us. So, we're gonna bounce. And they rebranded as Queen Herbie, and they've been indie ever since, and they've been living their best lives. They recently released a song called Overnight, with this collaborator they had online. Apparently, like, I hope he gets a chance to talk about it if he's at liberty to, but their collaborator, apparently he had some legal trouble. Like, there was some like legalese trouble that he was having with being able to release the song originally. So as a result, it took a while, like years, for the song to come out, even though like he and Queen Herbie had the lyrics already, like all ready to go and pretty much recorded already, but they just couldn't release it until like literally this year. And the song was so worth the wait too. It was really good. But yeah, like, it just got too much. Like the traditional Hollywood structure became too much, and they just left. And I think it was worth it, because I mean their Carmen stuff is still good and they still sing it, but I think it's clear that they really felt like themselves when they left. The world was not ready for they weren't, absolutely. And like, even she was going through a discovery process when she was doing that. So like, it felt like it finally kind of emerged. One of my favorite songs from Queen Herbie is All Right. Like, that one, it's like whenever I have a hard time, I listen to that and it's like a balm in my heart. Like, everything's gonna be all right. So good. All right, Ashley, here's what I got for you. So I got some tarot, got some oracle. Let's see what we got. So we got the King of Swords first. I mean, I gotta figure out my lighting situation. But yeah, got the King of Swords, and I'm feeling like for the resolution for the personal matter, is definitely going to be calling for some deeper logic at this time, like deeper logic and discernment. Could be from your end, could be from their end, but regardless, in order for this situation to be navigated, there needs to be some clear thinking going on, and communication. It's a blend of practical and emotional intelligence that is needed for the situation, and most importantly, being brave, being courageous in the face of whatever difficulty or challenge it is. So that's the first piece of advice that I've got for you. So let's see what else we got. The Seven of Pentacles. So clearly this is very deep-rooted. So swords are about logic. Pentacles are about like the 3D matters, like the practical, physical matters. And it's a pretty deck, I agree. And Chris Ann has some like I think she took a lot of the imagery to be very put in a very modern context to really appreciate. And in this case, I think it's very much, you got to acknowledge like what efforts you've made up until this point to resolve the situation in whatever way you could. You're doing the best you can. So at this point, it's a call for you to basically reap the rewards of your labor and reflect on what has happened, what has come to this point, and be really patient with yourself as you go through this journey. And also, as difficult as it can be with this circumstance, especially if it's like if it's one that's been really adverse to your, like really challenging to your friendships and relationships, I think it's a good time to like pause sometimes and give yourself a bit of credit that you've been able to navigate the situation the way you have, even if it's not the ideal way that you would have wanted to go about it. And trust that you're doing your best to keep going down the path that you're on, and Remember that regardless of the outcome, that you will get to the other side of this, whatever that is, and you're going to be okay. All will be well, and all will be well. Among all those good things, all will be well. Even among the challenges, there are still good things in between. Hang in there. Of course, allow yourself to be vulnerable too. I mean, you're being vulnerable here, so I appreciate that. Thank you for trusting me with your vulnerability. So, continuing on. The sun! Ooh, okay. So the sun. The sun will rise again. There will be joy. There will be prosperity. There are good things. And in terms of yes, no's, like this is like one of the few cards where it's like definitive yes. In terms of what's working out, I don't know. But something good is clearly coming here, coming for you. So whatever joy that you experience, bask in the glow. Enjoy the joy. Enjoy how it radiates within and all around you. And things will unfold with the right nurturing, with the right support. And trust yourself. I know it can be very easy to not trust yourself in a place where doubt tends to be introduced. But there's so much more going for you than against you. So allow yourself to be inspired, whatever that looks like. Dang, this one's coming up quite a bit tonight. We also got the Tower. So I think in terms of like the situation, or how the matter is going, I think the biggest focus you need to do at this point is to focus on the foundations that the matter is based on. Be it in terms of unhelpful ideas or unsupportive mindsets or stories that have destabilized things, or a shift in personal frequency. And especially if you're dealing with insecurity, this is a time to really face it head on. Now, in the case of the Tower, I don't look at it as a disaster, even though some people may think it is. The Tower, I tend to look at it more as like time to re-examine the foundations before things get too unstable. Usually, like when I pull the Tower, it's like a little bit of a heads up of like, okay, let's take some time and actually think things through and change things up and see if we could change the foundation of how this works, or even we can build a new one that works better with what we need at this time. Doesn't always require a total reset. It's more so like putting the existing stones sometimes into a formation that works a lot better. All right. And it's often foundational in nature. So sometimes it's good to like look back a little bit and see what's been coming up that needs to be honored and reflected upon, and allowing yourself to move forward. Case in point, 8 of Pentacles, the next one, which, finally enough, I actually pulled it for tonight's Oracle Forecast if you want to watch that earlier. It's like at the very beginning of the stream if you want to watch it. 8 of Pentacles is about dedication, usually to a craft or some kind of work. But the point is putting your spirit in the effort, not just going through the motions. Dedication, having a method, and whatever purpose you drive, put it with your soul as well. Have it be soul driven, not just stuck in the practicals. It's about thriving, not just surviving. So that's the next part here. Pretty self-explanatory. And, ooh, okay. And this is the point, like, I actually find this card scarier than the Tower, which is the 8 of Swords. In the classic Rider-Waite-Smith version, it's a lady blindfolded, surrounded by swords, and tied up. But the tying up is very loose, meaning that she could just drop the rope, take off the blindfold, and was like, oh, the swords are spaced out. I could just walk. Similarly, here, you can see that the crows and the rope, it's an illusion. It's a mirror. So, in reality, what may look really bad here, I'm not trying to gaslight you. I really don't want to intend that. So in case it doesn't resonate, feel free to drop my advice and just leave the rest. Go for a second opinion, or just throw my decks off a cliff if you want. But long story short, it's not as bad as it looks. It's an illusion. You don't have to cling on to whatever judgments or whatever experiences that you've had as a verdict. Like, if something goes wrong, you don't have to look at it as a verdict of your character or your skill. It's just a bad moment. And once you notice that, that thing is all it is, a moment, you can then free yourself from the pressure that you've been under, and then now your energy is more focused on making a solution rather than getting stuck in the bind of being pressured to please everyone, or please this very narrow subset of people that maybe after all this time you might have realized that they're just not your vibe at this point. The nice thing is, the good news is, knowing that it's an illusion, be it whether it's your own or somebody else's making, is that illusions can be recognized and dissolved out of. You don't have to go further into it. You don't have to tie yourself up into knots to find an answer. You can just drop it, untie it, move to a place where it works. So, okay. So we got a couple more here, and these are a couple that really make sense. So we got walking away and victory from my energy oracle. So clearly there's something that you need to move away from that's no longer been helpful to you at this time, and it'll help you move. Walking away from something can sometimes be a path to walking towards something better. And then there's victory. So this is double indication between victory and the sun. I think whatever it is that you've been struggling with, or the personal battle you've been going through, I think it is going to resolve in your favor, whatever that looks like. So I'm reading the description of both cards here. Walking away, letting go, moving on. Upright, it means this card shows someone walking away from an existing situation. She is closing the gate behind her and is walking away into a misty, unknown future. This card upright reveals that it could be time for you to make a similar decision. There may be something that you're finished with, perhaps a career goal, a relationship, or a long-term experience of any kind. The familiarity of the situation may be enticing, but you're now ready to look at your options on the open road ahead. In reality, an important new beginning is at hand. This card also indicates now would be a good time to let go of an old habit, emotional pattern, or false belief. No matter how deeply ingrained a negative pattern may be, you now have the power to release it and move on to a freer, healthier way of thinking and relating to yourself and others. Whether it's in the inner or outer world, this card is telling you that you have the readiness and resources to walk away from the old and move forward now. Yeah. I studied world religions when I was in grad school, and yeah, I really enjoyed it for sure. I'd be down to make a chill stream where we conversed about that. I'd be down to do that. Okay, now I'm feeling the urge to read this part. I don't really do reverse cards, but I sometimes have the urge to read a reversed meaning, and this is one I feel urged to read here. Habit and familiarity are compelling forces, often causing people to ignore their intuition and even dishonor their genuine feelings. This is a time of honest investigation. Consider all the factors in the present situation. Perhaps the timing isn't quite right, and there may be some purpose in staying a little longer. But don't deceive yourself about your motivations. Fear-based decisions don't often work out in your highest interests. And walking away doesn't necessarily mean like giving up. Or sometimes giving up might be, I mean, I know we tend to like disdain giving up, especially with all the narratives tend to talk about when it comes to success. But sometimes walking away can be the greatest thing for you to get yourself closer to where you would like to be. Whatever that looks like. So, walking away, I mean, I almost said walking away isn't failure, but like even failure can be a teacher in a lot of ways. Like sometimes like taking some failures can also get you, it gives you more signals as to what works for you. And then ultimately you get to the success and the victory that you're looking for, right? So it's very much about being open enough to possibility, but also have enough of a motivation to help yourself go forward. Good night, Messa. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. But yeah, walking away isn't giving up. It's getting you closer to what works. Like for me, it was leaving a job that I had for 7 years. There have been so many times since, like, I only left just last year, actually. There have been so many times where I thought about going back. But I knew deep down, with the way that it was going, it wasn't going to be a good fit for me after a while. I needed to move forward. And as scary as it has been, like tomorrow I'm starting a new job. And it's a new adventure. It's a new day. I could have moved on sooner. I mean, that's one regret that I do have. But on the other hand, though, if I had to think about taking notes from Alyssa Liu, that famous figure skater, if I had to look back on my life, honestly, there's a lot of things I wouldn't change. Thinking about it now, because it helped me to become the person that I am today. And I think if I didn't do what I did, I don't think I'd be sitting here doing what I'm doing right now, which is this. So sometimes the detours, the walking away, the quitting, it may actually bring you closer to what is the better fit for you. It's not giving up. It's giving into whatever works better for you. Okay, so victory. The final oracle card I got for you before I got to the songs. Success, achievement. This card shows a beautiful spirit holding up a golden victory wreath in acknowledgement of your achievement. Success is on the way, and you have a sense of pride in what you've worked to accomplish. The achievement may be a greater outer success, or maybe a deep inner change that you've been exerting a lot of effort toward. Enjoy the sense of accomplishment, but be careful not to rest upon your laurels. People expect outer triumph to bring great changes, but often there may still be inner work to do. Let yourself be open to victory to every level now. And this other part from the reversed meaning is really good. Whatever's going on externally, remember that the equanimity of peaceful surrender can often be your biggest victory of all. And that's the biggest thing. Because, I mean, let me tell you something. People talk about, like, going to an Ivy League school like Harvard, which is where I went to. Like, as if it was going to be, like, the answer to all your problems. That it's going to, like, fix everything. For some of us, that hasn't been the case. Certainly hasn't been for me. Like, I stayed at the same job for 2 more years after I graduated because I really couldn't see myself anywhere else. And yeah, it just, I mean, they tell you like Harvard really does open doors, which it does. Intellectually, absolutely, it opened doors. But like success-wise, it's like there were some skills that I still needed to acquire, and I had to acquire them outside the classroom. I mean, they even say as much in the mission statement outlined on the gates of Harvard, where it says like, this is for you to like pave your way to go to the outside world and use your intelligence for the bigger and better things out there. And yeah, absolutely this. Am I pointing the right direction? Hold on. Yes, absolutely, this especially is, don't regret your choices in the past because it leads you to where you were now. And especially if you feel like as if right now has not been the greatest timeline, so to speak. Like if you're feeling more like Evelyn, like the Evelyn we're following in Everything Everywhere All at Once, instead of all those super powered concentrated versions of Evelyn at this point, don't fret. Even the times where it feels very mundane or draggy, it's still a pretty good time. So remember, Eshi, that this dispute isn't forever. That you'll be able to get through to the other side, whatever that is. And one day, you'll be in a much better place than you were before. Or a place that fits better. A place that makes a bit more sense. Even if for a moment. Because, I mean, we're humans. We're going to be confused a lot of the time. So, you got this. So I got a couple of songs for you. Feel free to listen to them on your own time. It's from Queen Herbie. One is Pre-Roll. Keep a pre-roll in my pocket for when life gets too chaotic. They can scream and shout, I just tune it out. There's that. So, whatever noise, you can turn down the volume and put it up on whatever you enjoy. You got your own music, put it on if you want. And then Marie Antoinette. Lavender patchouli, conjure up the new me. There's a wealth of experiences out there for you. So at this point, I think it's like important for you to be open about it, and maybe sometimes you just gotta relax and enjoy the ride and see what comes up. And then there are other times where you need to redefine the parameters. Remember that you are the magic. And you can turn things around with the power you do have. So, that's what I got for you, Eshi. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I wish you all the best with the situation that you've got. So, I've got an empty queue. Hard to believe it. We've been pretty on top of it this week, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, she loves her Halloween imagery. In fact, like she has this concert series she does called Halloween, where like during the Halloween season she like dresses up and does like, really nice and spooky stuff. It's great. Like she's like clearly Halloween's favorite season. But yeah, I pulled a couple of songs earlier. I could resend it for the collective. I have to scroll back a little. Yeah, I agree. I love dressing up. I'm trying to figure out what to dress up as. Okay. There we go. So here's the collective stuff. I just had this feeling that this song was going to pop up, and it did. R.I.P. was the theme of last year, and Abracadabra. These are two pretty good songs. I love R.I.P. because of the bass line. Plus the lines in that song are fire. Let me tell you, that song's fire. Okay, other ones I would recommend, I think. Hopeful. I mean, she does it too on the album cover. Happy Heal Ho and Overnight. The one we did with Richard. 2 other songs. They're newer, so they should be easy to find. And then Thank Me, featuring Abel Hart, one of our longtime collaborators. But yeah, there's a short playlist for you in case you want to check out some stuff. But but yeah, look, so unless there's anybody else who wants to jump in the chat, I think I might tune in a little early. Anybody else want me to pull? I think I might have room for a couple more. Okay, symbols for wear. All right. I got you. Hey, exactly. You're here. Might as well, right? So I'm going to run an ad real quick so that way we're not interrupted when we're doing the pulls. And in the meantime, symbols, feel free to write down what your question, concern, or thing you want me to pull for is. So stay tuned, everybody. We're going to take a little bit of an ad break, and I'll give me some chance to eat these because they finally cooled off from being almost like lava level hot. So stay tuned, everybody. All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for your patience. Shout out to Runcy, gave me some really good food. I think the portion wasn't too huge, so I was able to finish it pretty quickly. So, shout out to Runcy. She's basically older sis from another miss. Love her so much. You might see her sometimes on the channel. So, all right, symbols for wear. You got your question or thing you want me to pull for you? Because I'm ready to go. Tell me what you got. Hit me with the best shot. Fire away. Ah, let me take your consider reading. Okay. All right, you got it. Okay. Which one do I feel like pulling from today? Oh. All right. Which deck feels like coming? Okay, this is interesting. So I'm feeling a combination of a bit of tarot and a bit of a chakra checkup. That's of course if you consent to it. Ken just grabs the phone book. Yeah, I don't know how people manage to like do it with like more with like less images on there. It's kudos to them. All right. Yeah, because I just felt like doing it, and I think maybe because you mentioned you used to do Reiki too, so maybe that's why. All right. But I'm gonna pull these out, so. But yeah, I have these heart crystals. I do a lot of chakra work as well, off camera. But I did like I did a little bit of priestessing training, a bit prior, actually, a bit prior to a little bit prior to getting into grad school, and then I got into grad school during it, so. It was actually during the lockdown that I did it. And so I worked a lot with chakras because, I mean, the teacher that I had was very well versed in them. Felt like we needed that, especially since we're going to be doing this. All right. Hello, buddy. I'm going to be working today. So this chakra checkup is very much kind of like a self-engineered system. So it's been a combination of like things I've noticed from Reiki practitioners I've had in the past, things that I've learned over several years, and then also it's overall like kind of like tapping into my clairsentience, because it's like one of my strongest clairs that I have, and a little bit of clairaudience too. But yeah, I'm not Reiki certified yet, so most I can really do is like maybe like give a few suggestions as to where you could get things kind of back into place. But for the most part, like I feel like in terms of detection, I'm pretty good at it. All right, so here's what I want you to do for the chakra checkup, because it's going to take a little bit. Go ahead and send your energy toward this selenite heart. Thankfully, it's self-cleansing, so it doesn't hold on for too long. I can pretty much tell when it's sent, but yeah. It's kind of like an energetic biopsy. Okay, yep. Yeah, that was pretty good one. Pretty good sample here. All right. Thank you very much. All right. All right, let's do this. Let's see how things are looking. All right. For symbols, root chakra. Wait, let's not go straight to it first. Pardon me for being rude. Oh, the selenite? Yeah, it's pretty incredible. There's a lot you can do with it. It's pretty nice. I have a selenite wand for when I'm doing magical work. Okay, so all the answers are still the same. All right. Awesome. Okay. For symbols, how is their root chakra doing? Can you tell me? How are they doing? Okay. The root's doing pretty well. It's very strong. Thank you. All right. Let's see about your sacral. How's that looking? That is giving a recalibrating. So usually when there's a recalibrating chakra, usually it's either like kind of there's some like activity going on. Usually, thank you. There's some activity going on. Usually either it's compensating for another area that might be like blocked up, or you're in the progress of something. You're in the progress of something that's like changing the energy. So with sacral, besides the obvious physical matters, there's also I also learned from personal experience, it could also relate to cash flow. So like if you've been doing a lot of things to like make money, or you've been doing a lot of like late night shifts or anything like productive or creative, like it's like very much the element of water in the sacral chakra. Odds are pretty good. It's gonna be pretty active and probably constantly recalibrating, because that happened to me a lot back when I used to do like double shifts. I actually used to work. I was doing 2 jobs on top of grad school at one point. That was chaos. So I really relied on my Reiki sessions back then. But yeah, pretty common for a compensating or a recalibrating sacral chakra. I feel like you've been doing like a lot of work, be it with creativity or with money, with work. So, but let's see what the other ones are doing. All right. Okay, solar plexus. How are you doing? Okay, not sacral. Oh my gosh. Pardon me. Solar plexus, it's open, but it's kind of narrowed a little bit. So, solar plexus, I mean, everybody knows this. I mean, I like to talk about it anyway because there's some people who just might not be in the know sometimes. So like root obviously is the foundation, and I can tell your foundation was pretty strong because it was like a very strong response. Sacral, clearly something's going on there. Solar plexus, it's about self-confidence, like your source of power. So it's open, but it's not as strong as the other two. So I'm feeling this sense of somehow your personal power has been feeling pretty challenged recently. So as a result, it's like your creativity's been compensating for this narrowing of like your self-concept. Best way I can really describe it. I mean, I'm not an expert, but like that's what I was feeling, because I kind of felt like there was a little bit of a narrowing right over here, like a shrinking, usually of protection of something. Usually, like if there's like a narrower solar plexus flow, it's usually like it tends to be a symbol of like there's something that's kind of sapping your confidence or sapping your personal energy. I'm again feeling like as if it's work related. I don't know why, but it's feeling work related. Like, do you do like a super demanding job off Twitch symbols? Because that's what I've been feeling. Hmm. Oh, that actually makes more sense. Because, I mean, this was me for a year, so I totally understand this feeling. Because, like, especially like when you're not employed, there's kind of this closure that you can sometimes feel of just not being able to be as productive as you would like to be sometimes, and especially when looking for work. And I could say this because, I mean, that was my recent state of affairs until literally tomorrow, where I'm starting my training for my new job. But like, you often don't realize like how much your life narrows because of a lower job, because of like not having one, until it really hits you. So biggest thing I can biggest thing I could say, oh my god, it's been forever. Hello, Just Darkness. Um, but yeah, like, when you look when you're not like when you don't have a job, it really saps your confidence. So the biggest piece of advice I can give you from like personal experience from that part, if you're okay with it, of course, feel free to just throw it out the window if you don't want to hear it, is don't let the title or your status get you down. And I'm glad you at least have that with like projects to do. So like whatever, like whoever's been like heading the projects or whatever projects you're doing, don't let the things intimidate you. Because you were selected for those projects for a reason. Clearly there's something within you that you were meant to do for those. So don't let the pressure get to you too much. I mean, if it is getting to you too much, just take some time to decompress a little bit and then get back on the horse. But yeah, don't let it hit your confidence. Is what I'm feeling. Okay, let's see how the other ones are doing. So, all right, heart chakra. Let's see how you're doing. I see. And sure enough, immediately, thank you. Yeah, there's a recalibration of the heart. So yeah, so like narrowing of confidence, heart recalibrating, sacral recalibrating. Yeah, there could like that absolutely can get you lost when like you've defined so much yourself into like a project or a series of things that it's like, great, now what? And have you taken the time to celebrate the fact that you finished those projects at all? Because most people don't even get that far sometimes. So give yourself a pat on the back. Because I think acknowledging how far you've come can make you more motivated to go towards what you need to go towards next. But also honoring where you are now. Because if you haven't given yourself the time to celebrate those accomplishments or those projects being completed, I think you should. Oh, that makes some sense. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I think acknowledgement of the fact that you managed to get through those things even with the challenges like trauma. I think that's important. Because, I mean, the fact that you even did it at all, that you faced it at all, give yourself a pat on the back. Because, I mean, that kind of work can be re-traumatizing sometimes. So, with the ones that are getting hit with, like, your sacral, solar plexus, and your heart, it's no wonder those channels were kind of... Okay. All right, throat. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, absolutely. And your throat's looking good, because I mean, it's not like the super strong stuff, but like it's moving like a lot more than your solar plexus for sure. So it's looking good. All right. All right, third eye. Let's see how you're doing. All right, thank you. All right, third eye. So, I mean, I could tell it's like it's like the project's definitely taking a toll quite a bit. So, definitely some R&R is needed. Don't have to do anything expensive. It's just you can just go to like a local park or something, or even just take a moment to like breathe for 5 minutes. Okay, and then finally your crown. Let's see how that's doing. All right, symbols crown. Okay, yeah, that's pretty strong. All right. Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much for that. Appreciate you. Okay. So, it's mainly the lower chakras up to your heart. So like the root is very strong. So like I feel like in terms of like your identity and like your personal will, your embodiment, that's pretty strong. But clearly like it's been hitting like there's some like it's been and like your upper chakras, like your throat and throat up to your crown is pretty good. It's like more so like from like your heart, between your heart and your sacral is where it's kind of hitting out of whack. And it's like your heart and your sacral are compensating for like your solar plexus, like kind of almost to the point of being like being in a shutdown. Like it's compensating for that for sure. So, dude, you're already in the queue. You're fine. Let me see what I can tell you in terms of like where you could probably shift things next. On these two, and let me get you a song as well. But yeah, it's like your chakras are okay. It's just like I think it's just like right now because of the intensity of the projects like you described. I think it's just like your heart and your sacral are compensating for how much it's been hitting your confidence and your self-confidence and your self-concept, especially with power. So I've got a couple of songs here. All right, so let's see about the tarot cards. So for you, I've got King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. It's a very Pentacles energy. And I'm feeling this great sense of like, at this point, patience is very much the name of the game here. Patience and diligence and devotion is the name of the game. Excuse me, at this time. Because at this point, you have a lot of things that are starting to sprout and flourish, like starting to root down at this time. And so they just need like your dedication, devotion, and tender loving care to help it all grow. Okay? So it's like at this point you've done a lot and the results are starting to grow. So at this point in time, it's very like I think it's a good idea to let yourself enjoy the things that you need to enjoy. Embrace a little bit of whimsy during this time. I also remembered that like there's joy on the other side. And live out the things that you can do now as kind of a rehearsal for like your future life, so to speak. So sometimes like there's some things like if you don't practice it now, you're probably not going to do it as much when you get older. So it's to clarify, I'm not talking about it in terms of like rushing, but more so kind of giving yourself a bit more reassurance in that present, so then that way it's building the foundations for the future. So like some people say like I want to take some time and read in a I want to read a book in a big castle or something. It's like, well, are you reading now? If not, you might want to get started. And so got a couple of songs for you to finish things off. Thank you so much for being emotionally honest with me. I got Dress Code, She's a Pro, Let Them Know, and Herbie House, Took some real karma, turn that stuff into gold. So I'm feeling things are turning around. So believe in that self-power because you got it. All right. You are so welcome, Symbols. So I did have to close the queue because I gotta get ready for bed pretty soon. Even though I'm feeling really good. But all right, Just Darkness. You're our next person. And I think Just Darkness left. Okay. And I'm not seeing Call Me Your Daddy either. So I think at bare minimum I will give one more shot to somebody to jump in the queue, because you'll be the last one of the night, and then I'm gonna close the queue. So one more person. You don't have to jump in the queue. You can just ask me a question. Okay, so one more person. Going once. Going twice. You can just ask the question in the queue at this point, because like I'm not gonna reopen it. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right, Just Darkness. Okay. You're the next person. Welcome back. So go ahead and ask me your question. And Symbols for Wear, thank you so much for the follow. Is new love coming soon? Any details? Okay. All right, let's see. Let's see what's going on here in the love realm. And I think it might be the last one for the night, actually, because I don't see the last person in the chat. All right, let's see. How is the love department looking? I wish Frontier were in here, because like she has this Warriors of Love tarot that it's pretty good when it comes to the love readings like this. But let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. You're so welcome, Symbols. Thanks for tuning in. And feel free to come back and tell me how things are going. But yeah. Take it easy on yourself. And you got this, okay? Best of luck on the job situation. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Got some interesting ones here. A lot of them wanted to flip over already, and it's like I wasn't even trying for that. Okay. All right, so we got the Page of Cups. Let me just fill this up. Page of Cups. Three of Wands. Judgment. And the Four of Wands. There's a progression here. So with the Four of Wands, I often see it's like definitively there's something coming on the horizon, because usually with the Four of Wands, like it's usually like the engagement card, like love's on the horizon kind of deal. So I say yeah, like I think there's an openness to love here for sure. I feel one more song too. I don't know why. Okay, got 3 for you for the song portion. Okay, so Page of Cups. It's very much a call for you to when you're welcoming in new love and how it comes in. Some of it requires embracing some whimsy, embracing some play. Because I feel like this year in general has been the phase of let's not take ourselves too seriously and have a little fun. And be open. Because the Three of Wands and Judgment together, it's pretty clear that you've been doing quite a lot of inner work to be open to love. And I feel like it's finally the work is finally coming to fruition. It's a very subtle thing, but it's clear that you've been focusing on revelations, developing what you want, how you want to have it, etc. And at this point, since you focus so much more on solidifying the vision of how you want this person to emerge, now it's to let it fly. Let the pig fly. Let the pig do its thing. Let yourself enjoy life. Have a lot of fun. Because usually excuse me. There's so many stories of people enjoying life or doing the thing that they feel themselves the most in. That's when love tends to emerge. It's usually in an activity or something that just makes them feel their best. Be it a hobby, be it a party, or something chill. Whatever it is, it's a space of freedom and of openness. Because even if you notice the Page of Cups, there's... Let me see if I can adjust my lamp here. And I can zoom in a little. The Page of Cups here, if you could see it, hopefully, there's waves radiating out mainly in the heart. And then even in the water, you could see hands formed into a heart. So it's very much a call to openness. Have parameters as to how you want the relationship to go down, how you would like to be treated, etc. Definitely get specific about that. But then now be open to how it arrives, how it emerges, and how the connection feels to you. Try not to get too stuck in old patterns. Because, yes, you can use the old patterns as kind of a sample size or a litmus test of experience you've had before, but do not look at the new relationship from the lens of the old dating experiences. Because it's a different person, it's a different relationship, this person has a different backstory, maybe even different history, especially if they're from a different place. So it's okay to be able to explore this relationship a little differently. Maybe do the things that you weren't capable of doing in the past, be it personality wise or because the person that you were with just wasn't really open to that. So openness is the key. And the Four of Wands is about celebration, prosperity, kindred spirits, and oftentimes it also signifies marriage too, depending on who you ask. So you could meet this person through a fun situation, or it could be how you meet them, Or it could be, for all we know, this person could be the one. Could be the one. The person that makes you come alive, that every time you see this person, it feels like a celebration, a comfort, a second home, so to speak. So this is where allowing whimsy, allowing the waves of life to move through you is very important. Like the person you could come across. I mean, because I mean, you did ask about like a relationship, right? Yeah. So I'm kind of talking more like possibilities. Like I'm feeling like love. I'm feeling like love could be here for sure. Because I mean, the Page of Cups, like at least this version of the Page of Cups, and then certainly the Four of Wands can often mean like, yeah, there's something going on for sure, and it's like a positive wave. So it's like at this point, it's like relax and enjoy the ride, and also trust that like the inner work that you've been doing to like get yourself closer to that relationship is going to pay off for sure. So at this point, I think it's like focusing on like you've paved in a lot of things, you've written a lot of stuff down. So for what I'm sensing, or just thought about it a lot. So at this point, let yourself enjoy life, and that'll make it open that you can come through with this. So, in terms of the Queen Herbie songs that I got for you, I've got 3. All right, so 3 of them here. I've got a woman. So sexy in my sweats and granny panties. So it's like whatever you're wearing, really feel yourself. Really feel your hot, like really trust that people would like you for you. So that's number 1. Number 2 is dress code. She's a pro. Let them know. Remember your power, because you got a lot of it. And finally, cheap talk. Gossip is a block. Well, there's more there, but you know what I mean. But yeah, like sometimes you don't have to like run the tapes. You can just move in silence. It's okay. Because sometimes just rumor mills can do more harm than good. So sometimes just chattering for the sake of chattering might be wasting your energy. So let yourself just see the information for what it is, rather than going to the third party and just going through the rumor mill or something else, or hearsay. See the truth for what it is. So that's what I got for you, Just Darkness. I mean, I feel like the love department's pretty good, so I say have faith in love and take a leap of faith. Of course. And feel free to come back and let me know how it goes. Alright, Pops. You're the last one of the night, so please tell me what's your question. And then we're going to conclude this stream. For those who have been here a while, thank you so much, y'all real ones. No pressure. Alright, I'm going to run a quick ad, so that way I don't get interrupted while you're thinking of a question, so take your time. Okay, next month read, you got it. So, gonna go ahead and shuffle it up, and then we will hear when the ad ends. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling just one for this one. That's interesting. Okay. All right, Pops. Let's go ahead and let's see what next month's delivers for September. All right, let's see what we got. So we got the Lovers. Eight of Swords. And the Sun. Okay, so I got two majors going on here. So the theme I'm feeling for this September, for this next month, I'm feeling the sense of harmony. Harmony and joy are the themes of the month. Harmony is about like the Lovers. I mean, stereotypically, it tends to cover romantic relationships, which it can stand for that, but it's not the only thing. It can also mean choices, duality, harmony, making supportive parameters for your life, friendships, allies, unity. And then the Sun is allowing joy to be in your life. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy things that have come your way. Inspiration, abundance, creativity. And I think that's why the Eight of Swords came in. I think you're getting a little bit stuck in your own cynicism, ironically enough. Because Eight of Swords, usually it kind of comes up when it's kind of like a buffer for disappointment or getting stuck in your own mind or in the frustrations of life. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm gaslighting you, because I know because that frustration is very, very real. That feeling of being stuck. But this showed up between the Lovers and the Sun, and it's usually a signal that there might be an illusion or an old story that you may need to let go in order to get to this. And oftentimes, instead of having to search for the solution, you might need to go to plan B and realize that maybe you're the solution instead. You're the sword that cuts through the BS instead. I could see if I can give you a little bit more clarification as to what that could be. Let me see. Maybe one more. Okay. Or, you know what? Let me do the runes this time. The runes are sometimes, like, if the tarot sometimes feels a little bit too spacey, the runes have been pretty good at getting specific, what I'm finding. Okay. So we got Jera. Alright, let's see. Jera. Let's see if I can give you a more solid answer here. So Jera is from the Eight of Heimdall, and it's about harvest, process, gain, and growth through hard work. All right. Here we go. The harvest. Simple side up, which it was, means the good results of earlier input and effort, fertility in every way, including the conception of a child, a bonus or deserved reward or promotion. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry. Jera is the rune of a fruitful year, the good harvest from seeds well planted and cared for, and the rune poems talk of heaven's king or Frey, god of fertility and the harvest, allowing the fields to blossom forth as abundance for all. But of course, that involves earthly input, developing, nurturing, and persevering with longer-term plans rather than expecting instant return. When Jera appears in a reading, it talks about publicly launching talents you have practiced and refined. It also represents deserved promotion and recognition of material efforts, receiving money owed, success in legal matters, fertility, and good fortune. Jera is also a reminder that there is the right time for everything. It represents action, waiting, beginning a new venture, and moving on to the next phase. And I feel the urge to read this part. Let me read it. If your relationships or jobs tend to end up with the same scenario, it may be important to ask yourself why and see if you need to change your responses or expectations. And I remember pulling Jera for you in in a reading earlier for you this year. So, but it was symbol side down. So it flipped this time. So clearly something shifted. So I say whatever you've been working on, keep doing it, because something has changed. I don't know what exactly, but something has switched. So I say don't lose hope. So next month, I think the focus at this point should be pay attention to what you've been skeptical about like why it's been so hard to see the sun or see the lovers as part of your energy. And it could motivate you to it could help find, like, maybe through that digging could help you find your own solution to the problem that you've been experiencing to make it hard to see the sun. And I mean, case in point, the song that I picked for you from the Queen Herbie deck is Magic. Because remember, I say it once and I say it again. In this case, I'm saying it twice. You are the magic. The theme of the day. So I think things are going to turn around for sure. So don't be so hard on yourself or your circumstances. I think just look at September as a clean slate. Look at September as a clean slate. And you've got a lot of resources on you. So take full advantage of them. Make sure you get plenty of rest and pace yourself. And by the time you notice the changes in your life, I think a lot of stuff will already be different at that point. So you got this. All right. And with that, the queue has officially been emptied. And the circle is open, but unbroken still. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this Sunday. I really appreciate all your support and all of the amazing stories y'all have kept sharing. Thank you so much as well for all the music recommendations and all the memories, because gosh, now I want to go back and go through all my old playlists again and listen to all my stuff. You're so welcome. But yeah, this week will be a little bit variable because I am going to training this week for my job, so there might not be as many gaming streams as I usually would, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But the thing that will always remain the same is I will do my Seer Saturdays, my Collective Tarot and Oracle readings, and then Sundays I do my Oracle forecasts, which is like pools to prep for the work week. The regular game streams will be coming up pretty soon. I just need to get through this training period, and then I should be back. I've been doing a few once in a while, but like I just really need to get used to the schedule first before I commit to anything. So, but in the meantime, I'm working on my study of broad vlogs from Japan, so they should be coming out pretty soon. So keep an eye out on my second channel, Theological Otaku, for the first video. In the meantime, you can see the previews of the stuff that I do on my TikTok page, Charities of the season of this time is the Between Years Network and various disaster relief charities. I say various because there have been so many earthquakes happening at or near the Pacific Rim. So I've listed a whole bunch of charities in the description of the channel. I'm currently running. I've currently been like spreading the word about Japan, specifically Kumamoto, because they've been recovering from the earthquake. So I have a couple of charities from that. The Japanese Red Cross Society and Kumamoto City's own charities. You can donate them directly. Colombia. One of my friends is doing a charity for Colombia's earthquake relief, and then Global Empowerment Mission is running charity efforts for both Indonesia and Venezuela, because they were hit pretty badly with this recent earthquake. So all of them are linked in the YouTube description, and I'm gonna add the links to them in the Discord server. So keep an eye out for those. I also run a Japanese English online exchange group. So if anybody's learning Japanese and you need a few friends to practice with, I am running that group Mondays and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 10 a.m. Japanese Standard Time the next day over there. So if you want to make some new friends, meet some new people, have some conversation practice, learn some terminology, etc., this is a great way of doing it. And we are officially doing the Discord listening parties back again. I did have to, so people might have seen I was originally doing it for 1 to 3 p.m. But I had to push it forward to 3 to 5 because I forgot there's an event that I'm going to be attending on the 30th. So I'm going to be back a little later than usual, but rest assured, everything else shouldn't be affected. So come and listen to some music. The theme for this time is summer jams. So things you remember from childhood or things that you've been listening to during the summer, all of that is welcome. And if you've probably been seeing, you've been seeing a lot of links to my coffee page. I do readings outside of this channel. What I do here, even though, yes, I take a while, what I do here scratches the surface of what I actually do. My reports can get even more in depth. And up until the end of this month, I am doing a 2,000 yen special, which is about how much I paid for readings back when I was in Japan. It's about $12. So pretty much most of the offerings that I've listed on the right side of the screen, they're being offering at $12 a reading. The live read got discounted to $25. Other ways you can help me grow, you can continue tuning into the channel. I get ad revenue and turbo. You can also donate via Coffee or Bits. You can purchase the items that I'm listed on the right side of the screen, or you can subscribe via your Twitch or Prime subscriptions. Pro tip, do it on the desktop, because if you do it via mobile, it charges a little extra, and it doesn't go towards us, the creators. It goes towards the platform that holds the app. So if you want to save some money, do it on the desktop or put like your mobile browser on desktop mode. Anyway, here's where you can find me outside of this channel. I simulcast on Twitch and YouTube. I also have TikTok, Discord, and Blue Sky. The vlogs will be on my second channel on YouTube, Theological Otaku. I also write sometimes. I have a Substack page, thirdnerd.substack.com. Coffee, already explained it, so I don't need to go any further. I also have a Throne wish list because this month was my birthday, so if you want to send a little belated birthday gift, feel free to check out throne.com/Chandrasia. The stuff on there would help me do a lot more interesting stuff for the channel and also for my own spiritual development, so feel free to help out with that. And recently, I joined Hypesy, which is like a spiritual advisor / entrepreneurs, social media / phone lines. That's another way you can get affordable readings from me. Hypesy.com/WinStarshine, or you can download the app and find me there. Finally, this episode was filmed in the homelands of the Nanticoke and Lenape indigenous peoples. If you want to find out whose lands you're occupying, as well as ways you can contribute to the project, learn some more history, and various other things you want to find out more information, check out native-land.ca. So with that, happy Sunday, or Monday, wherever you're from. Stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, stay warm if you happen to be in a cold climate, and, as always, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, everybody, I will see you later. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. For those watching live, stand by for a raid. For those who are watching the replay, this is the end of the video. And I just realized an ad was literally running during my outro, so huge apologies for that. If it seemed like a sudden jump of like, oh, it's ending, next moment, boom, vanish. All right. Ah, it's Mr. Dean's birthday today, so please wish him a happy birthday, because, I mean, he's playing, like, old school World of Warcraft. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that. But yeah, it's his birthday, so please send him some birthday wishes whenever you join him. So, all right. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. I'm starting the raid now for those who are online, so. More games this week, so keep an eye out for that. All right, gonna go. Bye, everybody.